Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babel.
Babel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babel.
Babel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Next to another victim to the crossovers. Crossed him up and sit him down.
Welcome in to the crossover. Ravi Lula here. Josh Peterson, John Bishop. How we doing, boys?
Hey.
Hi.
I'm good, man.
Yeah? You doing all right?
I'm better than
Doing
yesterday.
Good?
Better than yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. Time heals all wounds, they say.
Yep.
That's a thing that people say, I believe. So, you know.
It is a thing.
That's
I
good.
can tell Ravi's been here.
Chairs low.
My feet are on the floor.
You're riding low. I don't like to dangle. I don't like my legs to dangle on the chair.
I'm hit or miss.
It hurts my knees.
Fine. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I like to be. I'm a well-grounded person. I like to have.
The advantage of being a low rider is you don't
hit your knees on the table.
Yeah,
or on
thankfully we don't have those. Well, there's a couple of things that kind of protrude from the bottom of the table, but we don't have those metal arms.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy,
terrible.
You hit one of those, and you're
gonna swear on the air.
You're dead.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need a drop button for that.
We're gonna need the drop button.
We won't
need it tomorrow.
I've hit my knees on this side of the desk so many times while we were on air.
Terrible. Yeah.
What's happening tomorrow?
Yeah. What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Robbie and I are calling a basketball.
That's right.
Oh, it's already St. John's Day.
It is.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
All right. So I got a question. Have you picked out a suit yet for the game?
I mean, I only have a choice of a couple. I'm not like you. I don't have like a style and wardrobe. So
have you picked out your suit?
So I'm down to 2.
How many suits
I was
do
gonna
you
say,
have?
how many do you own?
Okay. So
This is a poll question. Odson, if you're listening, how many suits do you own? Put out the poll question.
The Barney Stinson of energy.
I've got. Well, so the funniest
I've
thing
got
is
5 or 6.
I don't need to wear suits ever for like professionally,
right?
Like for my job.
Same.
So these are all just like recreational suits.
See, now that's the life.
I've got, I believe, so regular suits, I've got 16.
Oh,
I've got 3 tuxedos.
You own 3 tuxes?
Yes. I have a
you have a traditional black tuxedo.
Well, I don't have a black actually. I've got a maroon.
Okay.
I've got a blue, and I've got a charcoal. The charcoal is very classy looking.
Fun.
Maybe you should break that out just because.
You want me to go tuxedo?
I'm not trying to peer pressure. I'm just saying.
I thought about tuxedo for Christmas, but I really
that actually would have been the day. But you were still. Very tight. Tight on Christmas.
I really liked the double-breasted houndstooth that I had there.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so I've got 16 regular suits, 3 tuxedos, and then I've got my wedding suit, which is kind of it's an in-between like a tuxedo and a regular suit. It's actually my fanciest suit,
right?
But it's not like a tuxedo. So it's hard to explain.
Okay.
But
yeah, no, I get it.
Josh saw it. Josh knows what I'm talking about. He was there.
Yeah, I was. That was a good time.
So yeah, I guess we're looking at 20 total.
Dang.
I have 3 suits. None of them fit anymore. For the good reason, not the bad reason.
Still,
for the good reason.
You should have a suit that fits.
What's the good reason?
Losing weight.
Yeah.
Why?
Why did I lose weight?
Well, he runs. I don't know if you know. He actually.
I don't have any quarters, so I can't talk about it.
I was trying to goad him. I was trying to goad him.
I am my.
My bad. I forgot about the quarters.
So my younger. So I have two brothers. The middle one, he is providing us suits for his.
So you're gonna get one.
And I am pumped because I need a new one. That said, I mean, at some point I just need to pull the trigger and take these things in. And
you do because you do games and stuff.
Yeah, and so I have a suit jacket that I wear, and I actually just got that tailored because the arms were way too long because I just bought it off of a website, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I have that, and then I usually just wear it with whatever kind of pants. So yeah, I like you. I just don't wear them enough to warrant dropping the money on getting them tailored.
Yeah, so the tailoring is key, and I've got a little in there. My mom used to be a professional tailor.
Oh, so she does it for you?
So I buy my suits, and then she custom fits them for me. Which is very helpful.
Oh yeah.
Huge. But yeah, no, I did the same thing with Wedding 2.0. I bought all my groomsmen their suits.
Nice.
It's a good because you kind of knock out the gift, plus you make sure everybody has their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice like double. Two birds, one stone situation there. Because I don't know if you know this, guys not super good about going to get measured and stuff.
Dude, no, there was one of the weddings that I went to in the years where I was going to weddings like, all the time.
Yeah.
And one of them, we all were supposed to wear. We got suits, but it was like wear a white dress shirt, and the ushers in particular. I was a groomsman, but the ushers they had to wear a white dress shirt. Easy, right?
Yes.
One of them showed up in a white short sleeve dress shirt, and he looked like a child because he like, bro, what are you? And he didn't have the right color pants on.
Come on, man.
It's like, dude. And so, yeah, not a good time.
Tough
for that
look.
guy.
Yeah. So when
Very
you just
tough look.
buy their stuff, I bought their ties too, I think. Yeah, I bought the suit and tie.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, just white shirt, don't ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily all my guys figured it out. But yeah, I mean, I include myself in there when I've had to get measured for stuff. I'm not super prompt about it.
No,
it's guys aren't great at that. So you get the suit for them, you're good to go.
Because they're not typically excited. With the women, it's like, oh, you dress. Oh, yeah. Whoopee. I mean, for guys, it's like,
I'm pumped about when somebody gets me a suit. It's
like,
sweet,
yeah.
I need one of these.
Also, you don't get to keep it, right? Like if you're going to get measured for a tux, you don't get to keep it.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So you're
cool,
like,
I can't wait to get measured and throw this money away.
I can't wait. I can't wait to spend $300 on something I'm going to wear for 12 hours.
Yeah, and then send it back.
Yeah, that's terrible. I hate that. So that's why I was like, you know what? We're buying suits for the dudes. They need a suit.
That's a good move, man.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Move. Nick, have you ever been in a wedding before?
Oh yeah, I've been in a lot.
Nice.
One of the weddings I was in, we all had to wear maroon Converse.
Nice.
And they were all a specific kind, but they didn't buy them for us. We had to buy our own.
That's a tough look.
And they didn't have the ones that I needed in my size, so I had to buy another pair that was like $20 more, just because the bride. And I ended up wearing those as regular shoes for about a year and a half because I had to justify that.
Well, they're Converse. You can wear those around.
That's true.
The last wedding, Chuck Taylors?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're nice. I wear them.
That's not a bad look. Still. Yeah, that's fine.
And then the last wedding I was in, same thing. I only had to buy the shirt. Then everything else was provided. We got to keep the tie in the pocket square, but it was rented.
Yeah,
I don't
own ties from weddings.
Oh, my tie extension is extensive.
I've been starting to get more ties.
Yeah, it's I don't even know how many ties and pocket squares I have.
Nice.
And cufflinks. I'm a big cufflink guy.
I have one set of cufflinks.
I have a set of cufflinks.
So I went out and bought a bunch of shirts with the French cuffs because I love a cufflink.
I have one shirt with the French cuffs,
and I just think it looks so much nicer. And so I'm just like, you know what? We're going all in on the cufflinks and the French cuffs. So I try not to wear a regular cuffed shirt with suits anymore, just at all.
You are a dapper individual, man.
He is.
I care more than I should.
Hey, it's good to care about how you look.
It's just kind of funny because like I said, I never have to wear a suit. There's never like outside of doing a game.
Right. But
that's when I wear mine.
But I go out of my way to find reasons to either wear a sport coat or whatever, just because it's like, I have them. I like
have them. I need to use them.
And I just like to. I always feel good, just feel good, look good, whatever, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll all find out together tomorrow.
Now you put the tuxedo in my head.
That'd be a fun look.
You threw a wild card in there.
I kind of threw that out there.
You a bow tie guy, or you just
no, never bow tie. I'm too fat for a bow tie.
I met a bow tie guy once at an event that a friend of mine invited me to. They love talking about their bow ties.
They do, especially if they tie it themselves.
Johnson? I know how to tie a bow tie.
If you tie a bow tie yourself, most people are like they're very into it. It's my personal opinion that on bigger guys like myself, the bow tie is not a good look. It makes your like neck area feel real fat, whereas like a tie elongates. So I don't go bow tie there. Yeah,
I had a
not for me.
clip-on bow tie.
Plus,
for prom.
the beard too.
Yeah, the beard, it hides it. Yeah. So you gotta. I tie a particularly fat knot to show out under the beard.
Meryl Hodge.
Not quite Meryl Hodge fat.
You remember Meryl Hodge?
Dude,
remember his ties?
That dude was rocking like a quintuple Windsor. I don't even know what's happening there.
There's one picture. Yes, here it is, where he would take off his jacket, and you would see how short the tie was. Look at that.
It has to be.
It goes to here. It goes to the middle of his chest.
Yeah, it's like
tied so weird.
Yeah, it's like a nub because he's got so much material in the knot there. I always used to look at those. Is he on TV still?
He wrote a book. I had forgotten about this, about how CTE is fake.
Oh, cool. And then he is no longer allowed on television.
I totally forgot about
CTE is fake. Didn't he have concussion problems?
Well, maybe it explains why he wrote the book, John. Here it is. It's called Brainwashed, the bad science behind CTE and the plot to destroy football. 4 stars on Amazon.
4 stars?
4.5 stars, actually.
Noted doctor and scientist Meryl Hodge wrote that book.
With a guy named Peter Cummings.
Nice.
No, he went a little overboard with the thickness of his knot there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was cutting off circulation to his brain. Maybe that was part of the issue with the book. But no, I used to always think either his tie has to come up to basically his nipples, like that's where it ends.
Seriously.
Or he's got the longest ties in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have, like that thing would have to like hang down to his knees.
He gets his ties tailored, so he has longer ties.
I guess I've gotten extra long ties before so that I can create a bigger knot, but you still don't come up with anything like that. That's absurd.
Shang Ping Appreciation Club says Robbie needs to be put on some sort of FBI watch list for his suit stuff. Absolutely psychopath stuff. What did he do? What's like psychopath?
What?
What's psychotic about Robbie and his suits?
I don't think that's crazy. Some people just like to look nice. Shane Ping Appreciation Club.
Yeah.
Guy. I mean,
I'm confused.
Is that above the average? Yes. I think it's obscenely above average.
I think it's a little unusual for somebody that doesn't have to wear suits for work, but
sure, yeah.
There's a lot. People own a lot of basketball shorts and aren't in the NBA. What's the problem there?
That is true.
That's a good point.
Huh?
That is true.
What's the problem there?
Mm-hmm.
I have joggers. I don't jog.
Why do people have so many tennis shoes and they don't play tennis?
None of you play tennis, losers.
I've never played tennis. I've always wanted to.
Oh, tennis is super fun.
I took tennis in. I had to have one of those PE minor things, and well, I found out it's not easy to keep the ball in the ball.
Oh no, it's really difficult.
It's just like wow, oh home run, oh darn, and
that's why I've moved on to pickleball.
Oh, that's right. You're part of the pickleball mafia.
If we had a quarter for him, it would be
pickleball.
It'd be when he brings up pickleball.
Yeah, it would.
Amazing Daniel says, was in a wedding where we wore suits with boots and cowboy hats. All of us people who have those. Bride didn't want the groom to wear a hat because I don't want it to look like a costume. Groom, oh, remind me, what are you going to wear? And then he adds, they're divorced. Part of the 50%. Let's go, Amazing Daniel's friend.
We are the 50%.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us. Wow, it's a higher percent. Well, it's 50% of us 4.
Yeah, it's true.
Nick hasn't been married yet, but
Well, my parents are divorced.
Well,
so
not that we know of.
That's true, Nick. Have you been married?
As far as I know, I haven't.
Okay.
Listen, maybe maybe he has. Maybe he's keeping things from us. There's a lot about young Nick we don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me, given that when he tells us anything, we just run that into the ground for a good few months.
I mean, it's very possible after he was concussed by the football thrown at his face by Mr. Casey that he accidentally got married and forgot.
Yeah, that's true, Nick.
Or maybe purposely got married and forgot.
Mr. Casey gave me CTE.
Maybe he did.
Not according to Meryl Hodge.
By the way, the first blurb on the book on the Amazon page was from Ben Roethlisberger and Ashley Roethlisberger. Brainwashed is a must-read for any parent. There is still so much unknown in the realm of head injuries and concussions. We both feel more educated after reading Meryl's book.
Do you?
Nice.
Do you, Ben?
Ben Roethlisberger is a tough hang.
Yeah. Oh, crap. I just realized we were making fun of Big Ben with Amazing Daniel listening. Let's just
except for Ashley. She apparently is still a big fan. That we know of.
That makes one of us.
I was going to say.
That's a guy we haven't. I mean, I know he retired after last season.
Thank God.
I haven't heard anything about him.
He's probably reading that
we
book still.
generally don't. This is for you, amazing Daniel. Don't talk about mediocre quarterbacks after they retire.
Wow. Hey.
Huzzah.
Yeah, you were gone last week, John. We didn't talk about him when we were talking about the best quarterbacks of all time. And then we ended up debating Big Ben Roethlisberger for a good half hour on the show.
Because
Yeah, it was
he's
a whole
one
segment.
of the best quarterbacks of all time. He's just not in that group.
Yep. I swear, Daniel, I didn't even
Now,
mean to do
not
this.
not to rehash this argument again, but did you mention Terry Bradshaw's name?
No, of course not.
No, we're talking about the best quarterbacks of all time, John, not the guys who won 4 Super Bowls because they had a great roster.
Well, there was a quarterback in Dallas who won 3, and they had a great roster.
And we never talk about him as
Troy
one of the
Aikman
best
also did
quarterbacks
not
of all
get brought
time.
up.
Interesting. Okay.
Troy
As long
Aikman
as you're
got-
fair, that's all I care about.
Aikman didn't get brought up. Bradshaw didn't get brought up. We didn't bring up. I mean, because Staubach has like 3 or 4, doesn't he?
He has 2.
He has, oh well, of
He has
course.
2.
He's in Eli territory.
Gosh darn it. Man, I'm still catching strays. Still catching
I'm sorry,
strays.
I can't help it. We did not talk about Eli either. Not part of the
Well,
conversation.
no, I wouldn't say he's one of the best of all time. He's still a Hall of Famer. Much to
He
Josh's
will be
chagrin.
because he played in New York.
Not a Hall.
And he won 2 Super Bowls.
But you would agree, that's fine. But other people win 2 Super Bowls and aren't Hall of Famers. You would agree. You just do this to troll me.
No, I think he is.
Hold on.
truly one of- he is
John
a
thinks
Hall of Fame quarterback.
he's worthy of being a Hall
He
of
is
Famer.
a worthy Hall of Fame quarterback.
Hold on
yes.
here. Is there another starting quarterback that has won 2 Super Bowls that is not in the Hall of Fame?
Actually, he might.
Is
'Cause
Jim
you just-
Plunkett in the Hall of Fame?
You said that there's other quarterbacks who won 2
guess
Super Bowls. I don't know that there is.
Yeah, you might be right, Robbie.
Is Jim Plunkett in the Hall of Fame?
I think the second Super Bowl is like you punch your stamp there.
Jim Plunkett is not in the Hall of Fame.
So that's the one.
All right. I mean, he will be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to argue
Plunkett?
otherwise. No,
Eli.
Oh, Eli.
Eli will be in the Hall of Fame.
So Jim Plunkett's the
I don't
one.
think he should be in the Hall of Fame. but
I
he
tend to
will
agree.
be.
I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but
The difference was that, I mean, Plunkett
Jimmy P.
Plunkett was pulled off of basically the scrap heap of history and had a great last 3-4 years of his career. Whereas, at least Eli was a starter for the same team for
Basically for his whole,
for his whole career, and was
put up good numbers,
really good interception numbers.
Great interception numbers. Not Joe Namath territory, but still quite a few.
But like Jameis neighborhood.
Mhm. He just put together 2 of the best playoff runs of all time, and that's why that's why he will get in the Hall of Fame again.
If Jameis were to win 2 Super Bowls, is he a Hall of Famer?
Jameis still has to be playing. Whatever happened to Jameis?
He's kicking around New Orleans somewhere, I think. Still,
Yeah, he's still down there.
I think.
I've totally
Eating
forgotten about
sandwiches,
him.
hanging out with Drew Brees.
Yeah, probably. Going to some Publix,
Eating those delicious New Orleans Jimmy John sandwiches. The best sandwiches in New
I
Orleans.
thought you were going to go crab legs here.
Were you listening when Severe called in a few weeks ago, and then he went on like a 5-minute rant about Drew Brees? It was very funny.
Does he not like Drew Brees?
No.
You should text him.
Yeah, he's not happy about it.
Hey, what do you think about Drew Brees? It's a good time.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's a
might
very
have to
good
do
time.
that if I'm ever bored. I'm just gonna be like, hey, Michael, what do you think about Drew Brees? If I ever just need to kill half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google Jimmy John's locations in New Orleans and send him the screenshot. I hear these are the best sandwiches in New Orleans.
If you go to
Thoughts?
New Orleans and eat Jimmy John's, like you should be banned for life from the city. Just there's too much
Hard
good,
to argue.
There's too much good food in places
If you
like
eat
that.
any chains down there,
That's
like,
what I
are you
mean.
doing?
Yeah, if you go to you have to have
Nah,
Popeyes in New Orleans.
Yeah, good point.
New Orleans kitchen.
Michael does say that there's a real good Popeyes down there.
Yeah, apparently it's different in New Orleans, like specifically.
He
in
says it's
Louisiana.
spicier.
Yeah, you only have to wait a day and a half to get your food instead of a week and a half.
What if what if the Popeyes in New Orleans is just like the most efficient, well-run place in the world?
Oh, it probably is.
Isn't that like the dream? Just like the perfect
that chicken.
Popeyes. I would love that.
It's like it's actually good. The chicken pieces are actually big.
Actually, good. See, here we go. This slander. This
How
slander.
dare you.
I've got the photographic evidence.
It
I
had one
showed you.
tiny piece.
One. It was 2. There were
One
2 tiny.
Every
the
time
whole,
I go there,
the whole batch was
huge,
tiny.
huge pieces
I'm
of
sorry,
chicken.
you have tiny hands.
Tiny hands. Tiny hands. These hands are very normal sized hands.
Very
And
normal.
the chicken is
very
very
cool.
not normal sized, unless it's dwarf chicken.
That one time.
No, many times on many sides.
You never even go there. How do
Yeah.
you know how big the chicken
How many
is?
many times could it really
I've been
be if
there.
you
Yeah,
never
you
go
hate it
there?
so much.
I don't go there
Your
anymore.
story's not
because,
adding up, John.
they're slow. B, they don't want my business because they're slow.
Because you talk trash about them all the time.
And because their chicken is
I think
tiny.
they know when John shows up, like, there's that guy from the radio.
Just make him wait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
make
that's
him wait.
genius.
Let's go pull
Here
some
they could
pieces out of the trash.
Here they could suck me into your psychotic cult. Not the murder cult, the Popeyes cult.
The cult of
but
liking
they
good
choose
food.
not to.
The very
How
normal
foolish.
and reasonable fan club of the sandwiches. That's all. That's
Oh,
all.
no, the sandwiches are good.
Really good sandwich.
But
That's
it ain't
all I
worth-
really
it ain't
get
worth
there.
waiting 2 hours for.
Well, sure it is. You got to plan ahead. You got to bring some work to do in the car.
Go to a bar, get a beer.
You know, you just you gotta understand what you're getting into. Like, I don't go there when I'm in a hurry.
I would hope not.
Listen, it's just
Unless you're in a hurry like a Pioneer person would be in a hurry. Yeah, we got to get these cattle to market the next week and a half.
Yeah, John, how about a little perspective here? Like, if you were on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Popeyes would seem like, oh my gosh, is this the fastest
like,
service
is
we've
this-
ever received?
is
Oh,
this-
yeah. Oh, yeah. Popeyes
we had
in
to
the
kill our
18
chickens. And
Popeyes in the 1870s, very fast.
They would
feather
think
them.
it was witchcraft how fast Popeyes got them food.
Oh, they'd be stunned.
They'd be, oh no, what
They'd be
is
stunned.
this?
What
What is this dark magic?
UPS Ben and Lincoln says put John's Popeye slander on the quarter list. Yes, let's do that.
Ooh, that's a
No.
good idea.
No,
That's a
because
good
I'm not
idea.
going to succumb to your cult. Won't do it. Won't do it.
You don't have to
I'm here
succumb-
to speak the truth.
I'm in favor of this one.
Truth.
Sounds fun.
Thank you, Nick.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing what Ravi is dressed up as and how he's going to shame me tomorrow.
Well, have a good show, boys.
Thank you, Ravi.
We'll see you at the game
Tomorrow night.
All right.
And we'll see you
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night. Yeah, we got to get Ravi out of here so we can talk EAGLES Eagles today.
Go Niners, greatest quarterback of all time, Brock Purdy.
Go Niners.
On 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions with temperatures topping in the mid to upper 30s. I'm tracking a high of 36 degrees. Northwest winds return tonight under mostly cloudy skies, morning low of 22. Even colder for your Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 27. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust. 1620 The Zone will be on location Friday, January 27th at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, Nebraska. Stop by and drop off a donation of paper products, gift cards, or cash. Listen to 1620 The Zone and visit cancer.org/pinkout.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about a Govix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with a Govix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
There's nothing like football season here in Nebraska. Hi, this is Sunny.
And I'm Darwin with DJ's Dugout.
During football season, a portion of our sales at DJ's will be donated to the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project being built in Papillion.
As a Vietnam veteran, I'm proud for DJ's to support the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
To learn more about this meaningful project, Visit nvvmf.org. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran owned.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a pitch or run scored. 2023 season tickets include in-state rivals Creighton and Nebraska. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS. That's 402-554-MAVS.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Team by team previews of the NFL's Final Four starts today with the Eagles. We got Michael Bruns, and we'll find out, did Nick put the sounder in?
Did Nick put the sounder in? It's on his list.
Mm-hmm.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
So did you?
Let's go.
100. That allegedly is the sound of emojis.
Yep. That's what the noise that's made when a player commits to Nebraska.
Did you put the tunnel walk music in behind it?
Yep. Look
Nice.
at that. What editing work.
Well
put
done.
together by
Well
young
done.
Nick.
You know what? I take back the criticism of yesterday on behalf of this side of the room for you not getting the sounder in yesterday when the fifth of the 17 Georgia people committed. Because you made up for it with a fine quality sounder. Let's hear that again.
Yeah, we might as well.
100. That's what it sounds like.
I like the very end. 100.
When Matt Rule tweets.
Yep. That's a Matt Rule tweet, if I've ever heard one.
Yep.
Awesome.
4 or 3 star, depending on which service you subscribe to.
Awesome. 4 star.
Demetrius. Well, it depends. I've seen 3.
Yeah. No, we always go with the best star, no matter where they're from.
I
don't care if you rated it.
I tend to go with the least star because then the expectations. Well, how many times have we been disappointed by expectations?
Many times. He is a 3-star composite. That's what I actually use. For the record, I use the composite ranking. He's a 3-star on 24/7. Demetrius Bell, the newest commit. Look at this. Look at all these mitts. So many. They've added almost 40 players.
You're gonna need a dang moving truck to get all the people they're gonna have to move out of there.
Yeah, they're gonna be cutting some fools. They're gonna be cutting.
Whoa.
Fools, you say?
Well,
Cut.
Yes, Nick, cut. Oh my goodness. Is this
The murder cult is showing.
No, Nick, this is you not being a football fan is showing. You get cut. You push them out. You
Josh,
say,
I've been cut from enough teams to know what it means. All right.
Get out of here.
No, you got a football thrown in your face.
Yeah.
That was his version of cut. I quit after that. So I think that was his version of it.
Soft Zillennials.
I see.
Gen Z showing itself again. Get a football thrown at your face and you quit. Unreal. John, throw a microphone at his face just to see what happens. Just to see what happens.
It was a strong lead up. Mr. Casey, not a great person.
No, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, sure.
And a winner.
A lot of people, Big Ben, he did a lot of good football things.
He was a winner.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He was a winner.
Nick, that's a great retort. Good job by you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good job by you.
I was
I know football now.
I guess you know what? I'm gonna have to, because I was trying to see if we had an updated number on the
number of players
on the scholarships that have been gobbled up. And I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
I think it's
here we go.
37.
Here we go.
That have. Are you talking about added players?
I'm just saying total.
Oh, it's
total
over
players.
100. I think it's 101 now.
Really?
I think it's 101 players at this moment in time.
Wow.
This moment in time, there are 101 players on the roster. Now, Nick, you might say, that's interesting. Why is that number interesting?
That's not what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, you need to have 85.
I was going to make a Dalmatians joke.
So yeah, I believe it's at 101. I think it's at 101.
Really? That many?
So that means they're going to have
For some reason,
to.
I can't find a reliable scholarship chart.
That's more.
Get
it's
out
more
of
than
here.
85.
They're going to say, I'm cutting you, fool. It is more than 85.
They're going to get Mr. Casey to throw footballs at faces.
Yeah, Robbie just texted me 37 players added, 101 total. Yeah, that was the number that I thought I'd heard.
Holy cow.
So that means that they'll have to
That's
say
16.
goodbye to 16.
I wonder what the
16.
vibe in the locker room is like right now. Like people know that they're going to leave.
Oh, yeah. Or are they not going to leave and they'll just get name, image, likeness scholarships? You know, remember the old days, the county scholarship?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Bruns about that.
This is going to be the name, image, likeness. We're
Maybe
call
they're
it
going to
the
get
NIL
Googled. They're just going to
scholarship.
show up and they're not going to be able to get in.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, Nick, good call. They had the N card and the N card doesn't work anymore.
Or there's just a guy at the door. If they see him, he just holds the door shut.
It's like on Hard Knocks. Yeah, they'll walk in, but hey, coach needs to see you.
Yeah.
And then the music will start playing. What if every time Matt Rule was like, sorry, you're going to move on, the Hard Knocks music played? No, that's wrong music. 100. Wrong music. No, yeah, Nick, that's when players commit. We need the
sad
music.
version of that.
Yeah, we need the sad version of that.
Well, you're going to need the sad version of that. You're going to need the decommit version of that.
The committed to Nebraska, but then you got a better offer from Oklahoma version of that.
Sure.
I'll just do this, but with the Oklahoma music.
Perfect. There you go, with Boomer Sooner behind it.
Well, they're not all going to go to Oklahoma that we know
100.
Of. Well,
100.
We'll talk more about that with Brunsey in about an hour from now.
Awesome.
He's actually going to move back a few minutes to make room for Beau Wolf, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles, your NFC East champion, Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate this idea.
Seed.
I said to Nick, hey, let's get all these guests next week. This will be great. Expecting that we could reach out to my favorite Cowboys guy, Bob Sturm.
You're still hyped up on the Weed and Boys.
Hold up, Weed and Boys.
That ain't gonna happen.
We are not making noise.
The real challenge is, can Nick book a Cincinnati and a San Francisco guest?
Yeah,
I mean, we've got Mitch tomorrow, so the
props
Chiefs
to
are
Nick.
taken care of.
He's booked one. You know, he's really booked one. He's got the pressure's on for the other two.
I've got messages out.
That's great, Nick. I can tweet too, so you know. Yeah, I can. Text
I don't
people.
want the
Need 'em
Who
to
Day
say yes.
Nation, or especially triggered Frisco fan, who are very, very sensitive. I don't want them. I don't want them to think that I had anything to do with this.
Look, I know that you think that San Francisco fans are the most triggered, but have you
Not
seen
the most triggered? They're
Triggered
just
Mike's
triggered.
tweet to you about did John catch that Listerine sale yesterday? And then he talks about rinsing your mouth out and things that were in your mouth from Joe Burrow. It's very inappropriate. I'm not going to read it because we have a high school student hanging out with us today watching the show. But KC fans are the most triggered.
I didn't say Frisco fan was the most triggered.
Just somewhat triggered.
They're just triggered. That's all.
Okay.
Just very easily triggered.
Yeah. Well, you were like, I
They'll
don't
probably
know.
be even more triggered.
Is Mahomes good? And
They'll
they're
probably
like,
be more triggered after about 5:00 on Sunday.
I really hope not.
I think I made John's Joe Burrow defense the featured thing on the website yesterday too.
Oh, wow. Well, that's going to make the
Sorry
Kansas
for the
City
strays,
fans-
John.
Yep.
I don't care.
John, just mute him or block him. Hey, you said
If I had a
something
chance to have Joe
blocked.
Burrow on my team, I think I'd take him.
Over Mahomes?
I'd pick Mahomes.
Because that's a smart opinion.
I don't
Nick.
like Joe Burrow.
Oh, that's
I don't like his vibe. He's a good player, great player.
This isn't about vibes, Nick. It's about winning football.
He could be more humble.
He is a winner.
He
could be
more humble.
He could be more humble.
He could be more humble.
Wow.
And if he were, he'd be Dak Prescott.
No, because
Dak's pretty humble.
He'd be a loser.
I heard an opinion that Dak being like a get along guy is one of the reasons why he struggles like he does.
Because he's not more of a hard ass.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe
I
he's just
don't.
not
I
that
don't.
guy.
I don't study
He's
him
not
enough
as
to know.
talented. His arm's not as good. His decision making's not as good. Why are we talking about the Cowboys? We're looking forward, friends. We're looking forward
to the Philadelphia Eagles.
On to Philly.
This is my worst idea.
I think it's a good idea. It's a fine idea.
My worst idea.
It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's.
At least we're not going to be seeing the same game for a third time.
That would have been.
Think of it
awesome.
that way.
We saw that last year, and it was a great game.
I know, because the right team won.
It won't, Nick. That was the AFC Championship. The Eagles, that has nothing to do.
No, I know.
I appreciate the sentiment.
I tried.
Yeah.
You did.
All right. And we're going to go up and down the Nebraska roster.
All 101 players.
Scholarship.
100.
And
100.
We're gonna take a look at the departures, the additions. So I think it's gonna be a fun exercise. That'll be coming up today in the happy hour.
Nate says John is losing credibility when he keeps saying Frisco. Nobody calls it Frisco. Nate, that's why he does it. Because apparently it triggers them. I don't understand.
It triggers my dad, who didn't have an issue with Frisco, used to call it Frisco. And I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool name. And then I realized that people from Frisco hate when you call it Frisco. So that just made me want to do it even more.
It's like people from Indianapolis apparently hate when you call it Indy.
Really?
Yeah, they hate it.
They have a whole race, though. It's called the Indy 500.
Yeah. It's called the Indianapolis 500.
But they've been calling it. They've been calling it Indy forever.
For people from Indianapolis. I'll Google this during the break.
I'm surprised John doesn't hate it because he hates when we shorten words.
That's
Indy.
true.
It's been Indy forever.
How is the Indy different than Bloobs?
Because Bloobs sounds ridiculous. That's why. 402-951-1620. JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed is at USC 1620. And the Equitable Bank inbox is John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. At Equitable, we take banking personally. And answer the phone on the first ring. And you need to head to 1620thezone.com tomorrow to get registered for the Woodhouse prize pack. There's a Yeti cooler. There's gift cards to Casey's.
Mister?
Hashtag pizza. Or gas. Which, by the way, shot up another 20 cents today. Hashtag.
Still cheaper than last summer.
We're in the midst of an ad, John. You're not allowed to say it.
Not going to say it. There's also Rocket Car Wash gift cards, oil change certificates to Woodhouse. Each winner who wins the Woodhouse Wednesday prize pack will be entered to win the grand prize of $2,600.
Whoa, that'll get you a gallon of gas. Beat you to
Thanks to hashtag.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it, John.
But go to 1620thezone.com tomorrow and get registered for the Woodhouse Wednesdays from 1620thezone.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley wants to remind you that car buying should be on your schedule. That's why you can shop either in person or online at woodhousegm.com. Check out Woodhouse Chevy's entire selection of new and used vehicles either in person or online. Get honest, upfront pricing, schedule a test drive, value your trade, and complete the credit application. You can also chat with Woodhouse Chevy's knowledgeable, friendly staff. Experience the Woodhouse difference. Find new roads to Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley or online at woodhousegm.com.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Streaming only on Peacock. From the mind of Ryan Johnson, the writer-director of Knives Out.
Miss Kale, you've got this gift. Always known the truth.
I only know if something is alive.
The real trick of it is to figure out why.
Natasha Lyonne is Charlie Cale.
It wasn't an accident. I think there's been a murder. You watch too much Dateline.
A new 10-part mystery series.
Wool's on my fender. I gotta keep moving. I have been kind of a death magnet.
Poker Face, streaming January 26th, only on Peacock.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, to facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact, Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
NRG Media in Omaha is growing. We're looking for an account executive to present and sell marketing campaigns to local businesses. We're also looking for a client marketing coordinator to help our account executives create and execute marketing campaigns backed by excellent customer service. NRG is also looking for a sales assistant to help with the behind-the-scenes details that keep everything running smoothly. For information on each of these positions, go to nrgmedia.com and click Careers. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is 5 $10 vouchers for just $25 at Stories Coffee Company. Stories offers teas, smoothies, breakfast, lunch, heavy appetizers, craft beers, and wine. Oh, and they have live music select evenings. 114th and Dodge, Gretna, and now open at Midtown Crossing. Stories Coffee Company, this week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
We'll start our previews of Conference Championship Sunday. Beau Wolf, who covers the Eagles for The Athletic, coming up in just a few minutes. Much to your fear, yes, the Cowboys and 49ers was the highest rated.
No way. Oh,
game.
man. Wow.
You sound shocked.
Nick, I'm stunned.
The good news is,
People
Josh,
love watching the Cowboys.
the good news is there's
America's
still
team.
like 285 million people that didn't see the game. So
and most importantly, the last play.
So they didn't see the last play. They didn't see, Dak acting all over the field. They didn't see any of it. So
That's great,
so
man.
there you go.
The majority of America
positive boys.
didn't want to watch, and those are the Americans
The positive boys.
that
Those are the
I am
true
a fan
winners.
of.
Those are the true winners.
Yeah, because they didn't have to get their hearts broken.
Well, they wouldn't have had their hearts broken. Most
Man,
of them would have rooted
not
for
caring
Frisco.
about that result. That's the life that I would like to live.
I used to work with a guy who had a Cowboys tattoo on his arm. I wonder how he's doing.
Did you see
He's
this?
doing
Did you
having
hear
a real
about
bad
this?
time? What happened now? What else?
Well,
are you
this
gonna tell me?
is fun anyway. And yes, I know some of this may be staged, but did you see the Cowboy fan who got mad at his TV?
No. I'm guessing this is probably fake because this happens every year.
Well,
Every year a team loses and they're like, look at this guy destroying his $800 TV.
Well, first off, this guy did not destroy an $800. And if this guy paid $800 for this TV,
Okay.
he got screwed.
Is it like the Michael Scott
It
TV
might
from
be.
The Office?
It's pretty.
Look at this
damn-
angle.
It's pretty damn close. Here it is.
Yeah.
I thought the thing above the TV was like a tin, like we have this
Yeah,
toppling
no,
Goliath
some kind
tin.
of, looked like some kind of a
Clothy.
cloth.
That's
deal.
not
It was
the
a
video I
football.
saw.
Well, there's another video of a guy who carried his TV out to his driveway
Uh-huh.
and backed over it with his truck.
It
These
must be
people are
nice
such
to losers.
Must be nice to be able to afford a new.
They really want the content. That's what they want.
Oh,
they
sure
want
they
the
do.
likes and the retweets. I just got up and was like, all right. And then I walked upstairs and I hugged my mom goodbye, hugged my dad goodbye, and I left. I was like, I don't want to think.
You should have got a burrito. You might feel better.
Josh
Should've got a burrito.
ran over a person with his car. Not
I forgot to look when I was backing
that's
up.
chapter 17. of the
Forgot
manifesto.
to look while
Yeah.
you were backing up.
Yeah, but yeah, I would
He-
never.
He may or may not have had a Debo Samuel jersey on.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I went over to my friend's house who's a 49ers fan, and I maybe
sure.
ruined his bushes in his yard.
There was an eagle on the road on his way home.
Oh.
I get it if the TV is already broken. You could probably stage something, but if like you get a new TV, don't you like repurpose the old one for like the?
I mean, this,
secondary
like you
TV?
said, this TV was kind of tiny. So
it was a very tiny TV.
maybe he's like, this TV's old. Let's just destroy it. That's a weird setup for the living room. It looked like a dresser that it was sitting on. Odd.
It was, yeah.
Very odd.
It was very odd.
Well, I feel for that guy. Here's the embarrassing thing. Like, you know that this dude's significant other it's not like that she's going to give him crap for it. She's going to judge it, and she should. If you have that bad of an anger problem where you're destroying TVs.
Oh, I would still not be let into my house if I react. I mean, as much as I
bet
get
he's
crap
punched a
for the
few
way
walls.
I react to games,
Yeah.
and I don't exert violence on anything.
Correct.
Except maybe like, punching the couch.
Yes, that's what I throw a pillow on the ground. Oh, pillows. That's what I usually do.
Now, I don't know if
Hit the
this
couch
means
hard.
anything or not, but it probably does. I mean, after all,
What were you going to tell me now?
America's biggest media whore. Jared Jones canceled his radio appearance today.
I saw that on not the fan, the ticket down there, or was it the fan? Either
He
way.
didn't do his show today, and I guess
I followed some of those guys. They were very sad.
I guess Stephen Jones, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, he also does a regular appearance, and he canceled his yesterday.
Cancel culture strikes again with the
So
Jones.
I don't know what this
family.
means, but coming up, we do have a little bit later on. We do have our NFL hot take market. I've got a hot take. I'll be curious to see how you react to.
Man,
It's a hot.
This is
it's
great.
A,
I can't wait.
no. It's not. I don't know if it's going to be one you will necessarily hate.
Okay.
But it does involve your team. It involves a trade.
Involves my team and a trade.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I know where you're going with this. I'm very curious.
Well, we'll
Very
find that's later.
curious.
That's our NFL hot take market. But coming up next, no hot takes necessary because the Eagles are in the NFC Championship game. By the way, did you see that Villanova is playing? They only play like 3 or 4 games a year at the Wells Fargo, which is right there.
It's crazy. They play right there.
And they're playing on Sunday at noon.
Can't wait to see the attendance for that game.
Well, but I mean, you got that whole parking lot's just going to be a disaster.
Uh-huh. Man, I hope everyone's really sad. Really sad in Philadelphia. Sad.
Rooting against Villanova, I see.
Yeah, sure, why not? You know what? Yeah. Screw you, Nova. Screw you.
All right. We'll be back and talk with Beau Wolf of The Athletic next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Severo. Rotella's Italian bakery bread is the thing you need to have in your kitchen. There's so many things that are invaluable, right? The thing that's most invaluable, in my opinion, this time of year is having some fresh bread in your house, whether it's dinner rolls or for a hamburger or hot dogs or just some regular white bread so you can make yourself a peanut butter. Whatever it is, you want to have a good time, and the good time involves Rotella's Italian. Honor your tradition. Get some bread today.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Like so many other college athletes, Creighton guard Rachel Saunders had a choice. She could use her extra COVID year or decide to leave. Her choice was to stay.
The biggest factor for me was I do love my teammates. I wasn't ready to not be with them every day. I didn't want to look back and say I wish I would have stayed. It felt like the right decision for me, and I was able to continue my academics and stay here on campus. So it really was a win-win.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
The NFL Conference Championships are this Sunday, and you can enjoy more thrills than a 2-minute drill on FanDuel. Giddy up. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account because they're giving all customers a no-sweat same-game parlay. What does that mean? That means you'll get free bets back if your conference championship same-game parlay doesn't hit. You can bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to which player will score a touchdown.
That's right, everyone, that we're talking about. Pat Mahomes versus Joe Burrow. Get out those cigars. It's going to be a lot of fun. Or if you can't decide, you can ride with thousands of other fans and bet popular same-game parlays already made for you. New to FanDuel, sign up with promo code ZONE to see for yourself why it's America's #1 sportsbook. And if you already have FanDuel, you can start building your no-sweat same-game parlay today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. 3+ legs minimum, $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. A lot of people will, I had some bids here and just got to go with this guy.
We always ask the customer, did you get the referrals on those companies? Do your homework and check how long they've been in business. We try to stay really competitive. Doesn't matter if it's a Da Vinci wood shingle, asphalt shingle, vinyl siding, or hardy siding.
Just go with somebody who has the track record, right?
Right.
There's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Your Omaha hockey team is back in action when they head to Western Michigan this Friday and Saturday. Pregame is at 5:30. Friday, puck drops at 6. It's UNO at Western Michigan this weekend on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Join up, join in. It's time to make good on those New Year's fitness resolutions by becoming a member at Croc Center Omaha. There you'll find a full range of fitness activities, from free weights to Zumba classes to an indoor track, pickleball, and more. Join now and save. We'll waive the fees, plus you'll get 1 month free with an annual paid in full or auto pay membership. The Croc Center is just moments away from the Kennedy Freeway and Q Street. Go to omahacroc.org for more information. That's omahakroc.org.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
These are so corny. NFL fight songs are the corniest. I'm into it. Well, makes sense. But it is pretty cool when they sing at the stadium because they're actually fit. I wonder if they're going to get. Are they going to get Stallone to whatever the pregame ceremony is when they show up in the stadium and they play the Rocky music? Isn't it amazing they have a statue for a pretend person? What a city.
Yeah, but it was a great movie.
What a
great
city.
series.
Oh,
Albuquerque has Jesse and Walt.
Yeah, well, that's Albuquerque. This is supposed to be one of our nation's finest cities. And they have a statue for Rocky.
Are any of Michelangelo's statues real people, or are they just dudes that he made?
I don't know. You tell me, Nick.
I mean, Dallas has a museum for killing a guy. Literally. So, to each their own.
Do they have a statue of Lee Harvey?
No, they do not have a statue of Lee
Harvey.
Harvey.
They got a gun up there, I think. Like
Well,
behind
they
the
do.
glass.
Yeah, it
whatever.
is. It's behind the glass.
Any update there, Nick? As we're killing time, we don't have Mr. Wolf on.
Yep, go ahead and talk about something.
Just talk about
Oh,
something.
great.
All right.
Here,
well,
I worked all this time on my Philadelphia Eagle prep, and
Yep, me too.
now it's going to waste.
I read one of his stories this morning. First thing I did.
Oh, he's going to push back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pushing back.
You
All
could
right.
have just said that to us.
I didn't know if you wanted it on
That's
the
why
air or
I
not.
asked
Yeah,
you.
you
That's
could've
why I
just said
asked
it.
you.
Next segment.
Next segment.
Yeah. The time he gave was an Eastern that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's joining us next. All right. So
Okay.
there you go. All right.
Cool.
Well, we don't have to play the song again, Nick, because we already played it.
I'm going to play it again.
We already
No,
played
we
it.
don't
Don't have to play it again.
We
Thank
don't
you,
have to play
John.
it again.
John, I
pretty-
appreciate you.
It's pretty damn dorky.
Thank you.
Fine. I'll come back.
It's not
and
as good as Bear Down Chicago Bears.
I do like that one.
Bear down.
Because it literally
Chicago
mentions
Bears.
one very specific historical incident, how they wowed the nation with their T formation.
Jordan says Lee Harvey doesn't have a statue because he wasn't the one who did it. That's right. They have a statue for the hungover Secret Service agent. Like down by the
No,
road.
that's just
Down
Jerry
by the
Jones on his
creek.
bicycle.
Oh, time traveling Jera.
Yesterday we said that Creighton is now starting to reappear on some brackets. Not going to look at bracket matrix yet. We're not in
you
February.
keep looking at them.
No, I'm not looking at bracket matrix. I just saw
So
my.
you're not looking at the composite,
friend-
but you're looking at like 20 brackets.
No, I'm
Bracket
looking at
boy.
the ones of the people I follow. Like
the bracket.
Tim's yesterday, Tim Kruger's,
who
and
else?
today's
Joe Lenardi?
Mike DeCourcy, friend of the program.
I love Mike. I can't wait to have Mike on again soon. We should have Mike on soon.
He also has Creighton in a play-in game against Kentucky.
Oh, wow. A blue blood versus Creighton.
Kentucky.
Old Jimmy Cal. That could be Jimmy Cal's last game at Kentucky. People aren't very happy with him in the Bluegrass State
Well,
right
it's because
now.
they've kind of not done too well.
Hmm.
This could be the Jody Meeks revenge game. Creighton did play Kentucky
In
in
the
NIT.
That was the
2009.
NIT. One of my dear friends
here in Omaha, and Jody Meeks had a 3-point play to win the game in the last second.
So, at the time, I had this friend, went to Nebraska, and he was a huge J-sker. And we watched that game together, and this guy was so sad. He was so sad. I hadn't ever seen him that sad over any Nebraska loss. By the way, was I calling him Jimmy Cal? I meant Johnny Cal. I don't know if I called him Jimmy Cal.
John, it's got to be
Yeah,
your
it's got to
bull.
be. Yeah, it's a J.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it could be the Jody
NIT.
Meeks revenge
Ooh,
game.
that'd be fun.
In
John calling a game on a Tuesday.
At 8
I've
p.m.?
called many games.
9:30 Eastern, Nick.
9:30
9:30 Eastern as the good Lord intended. We could do a expanded Blue Jay shoot around. Robbie could come on at 6 right after the show.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That sounds awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
You could do 6 to 8:30. Well,
Let's hope it doesn't get to that.
I kind of want them to play on that day.
You just want it because you want more time off. That's what you want. Just be honest.
No, it won't affect my time off because again, it'll be an 8:30 Central game. It wouldn't affect us at all.
Why can't it be the 6 o'clock Central game?
Because the 6 o'clock game is the 16 seed game. That's how it always is. The 16 versus 16 is the early game, and then the actual teams that could win a game in the tournament are always later.
For some reason, I always thought the 16 seed games were on one day and the first 4
It's like
games
16
the
versus
other.
16 one day and 15 versus 15 the other.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be the later game. So it wouldn't even give me a day off. I just want it to happen.
Because you're a monster.
No, because it'd be fun.
No,
Creighton has never
fun.
played in that. Thank you, Nick. Fun. Shopping.
There are some events, like Nebraska's never played in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. Not necessarily.
And yet you kind of want that to
No,
happen.
I don't
next
want that
year
to happen.
With Matt Rule.
That would be a monkey
No.
paw thing, wouldn't it? Like, oh, they made a bowl game. It's the Quick Lane Bowl.
Nick, hey, beggars can't be
But it's the
choosers.
Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah, this is actually more of a Nebraska thing because if they made this and they won a game, they won one of the playing games, the takes would be incredible. Did they actually get their first tournament win? And the answer would be yes. But man, people
Because
would
it did happen in a tournament.
It happened in the tournament. It happened in the tournament.
Well, that's where the Jays are right now, at least according to Mike DeCourcy. Playing Kentucky
I
in
wonder,
a playing game.
I wonder what they have to. And this, let me be serious now for a moment. I wonder what they have to do to get off of this line, if you will, in a positive sense. Like what the record.
Keep
I
winning.
know that. What's the record that we're talking about?
Well, I've said
how do they stay on it, and then what would have to happen for them to fall off of it? What's the
See, I haven't gone that far in because
you haven't done who you're rooting for yet.
No, I mean I did look at
Soon enough.
I did look at what they need, and then now this was as of 2 weeks ago. I said the number. I think the number for the Jays, if they want to feel okay about their lot, is okay is probably not the right word, but I think 18
overall wins.
18 overall wins going to New York City. Now, it also you probably have to mix in a Xavier this weekend, a UConn in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, some of the nice
a road win at Providence.
Yeah.
A win over Marquette.
You
in
were describing
February.
some of the quad
I mean,
ones.
those are the 4 remaining quad 1 opponents. Well, 5 if you count Seton Hall, which currently would be a quad 1 win on the road because their net is top 75. So as of today,
January 24th.
and by the way, Xavier, even though
2024.
they're 13th in the country, their net is only 25th, which is only 5 spots above the cut line for being a quad one home win. It's only top 30.
30, 50, 75.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but as of today, the Jays have 5 more quad one opportunities
In the regular season.
in the
So
regular
you're saying
season.
18 in the regular season.
Yes, I'm saying, but I think that 18 has to have at least one of
It
those,
can't just
probably
be-
2.
Yeah.
Because right now, as it stands, the Jays only have 1 quad one victory, and that's the biggest thing against them. Everything else,
Nebraska has more quad one wins than Creighton does right now.
I cannot spot the lie.
No, yeah, they have like 3. It's crazy.
I cannot spot the lie.
Craig and Lincoln, a fan of a team in Nebraska's conference, says can't lose to the DePauls and Georgetowns in the conference. That would be bad for them. That is also true. Cannot look, dude. Georgetown, woof.
Everybody in the league, I guarantee you, everybody in the league right now is saying, please, Georgetown, win before you play us. Georgetown has been in practically every game.
They got blown out the last time I saw them, right? They lose by like 20-ish?
Yeah.
They were down by 20-ish?
They are, but I mean,
You're right, though,
they
man.
have led in the second halves of most of their Big East games,
Yeah, so
and
if
they just haven't closed
Yeah,
out.
so in a way, you want them to beat a bad team. So it's like, hey, at least they finally got the win.
You just want them to beat somebody.
Oh, man. That's not you.
That's not you.
That's not you.
Because you don't want to be the first. Because the streak is it 28 or 29 now? It's 28 in a row that Georgetown has lost in conference.
In the regular season.
Yeah, regular
Oh,
season.
by the way, how about this? Speaking of the other team, you know who they're playing tonight? DePaul.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that'll be a game. You going to tune in? We should put the. Oh, we don't do predictions. I think I'll do this for Bet of the Day later, though.
DePaul's actually playing some good basketball.
Georgetown
right
and
They just
DePaul.
beat Xavier a week ago.
Let's see. I'm looking at their schedule. So they have St. John's coming up.
Yeah,
5 days from now.
and then Creighton next Wednesday.
Creighton next Wednesday. Early game, man. 5:30. Holy moly.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's been my mark for the Jays. Is you
Wow, they have a ton of ranked teams.
have 18. Probably still would want to win at least one in New York City. But if you can get to 18 with the right combination, you'll be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not guaranteeing that that's going to put them in. But again, it's strength of schedule and the non-conference is really good. It's just you really want more quad one wins. That's what you want at this point. And unfortunately, Providence continues to slide back.
Folks.
And they're if you're wondering, because that's Creighton's best home win so far this year, but Providence is 40th in the net. And they need to be top 30.
So you want them to win a little bit.
Yeah, you
so
want
again,
them
this is kind of a little mini preview of who you're rooting for. Providence, you'd like them to pick up some dubs.
You need them to pick up some dubs. You want Seton Hall to stay above, top 75. If you're wondering, Nebraska really can't do anything to help Creighton. That's Creighton's worst loss.
Yeah.
Worst loss in the sense of they are still a quad 3 because it was at home. BYU is actually ranked worse, a few spots worse than Nebraska.
Because it was a neutral
But that
game.
was a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still in the quad 2 category, which again is referring to their sorting mechanism in the net range.
And like you said about Providence, that's a home win as of right now. They still play them on the road, and that would be a quad 1 win. But yeah, it'd be nice, if you're a Creighton fan, it'd be nice if they could.
You'd like Arizona State
climb just a little bit
to climb up a little bit too, even though that was a loss. But they've got a ways to go. That's going to take some time. But yeah, that's the problem right now is your lack of quad 1 victories. But
that's why you're looking at being a Tuesday or Wednesday team
right now.
Maybe in March.
Isn't that 49er game on?
No,
right now?
we
Aren't
don't
they
have to watch.
replaying
No,
that?
John, never mind. I'd love to see Creighton on Thursday or Friday, I think. Gotta love the first full day of the NCAA tournament or second full day, not Tuesday, Wednesday. Who cares about those days?
Yeah, well, that happens. By the way, I did see that there are some early spreads for the possible Super Bowl matchups. You like to guess the lines?
Yeah, sure.
Guess the lines. This is from the Superbook in
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
This is so difficult because the Chiefs, we don't know if they win. We don't know what level Mahomes is playing at. I would feel very confident in doing this if I knew Mahomes is healthy. Well, if I knew he was healthy, they'd be favorites, I think, over everybody.
Chiefs, Eagles.
Right
Chiefs,
now,
Eagles.
Eagles -3.
Eagles -2.
Okay, well, that's good. It helps me adjust moving forward.
Bengals, Eagles.
Eagles -4.
Wrong.
Is it higher?
Pick 'em.
Whoa! Wow. I mean, I guess they are the
Pick
favorites.
'em.
I just figured, wow. Okay.
With the highest total. Would you like to guess the total in that game?
52?
49.
49. Okay.
Chiefs, 49ers.
49er. Hey, this is tough. 49ers -1?
49ers -2.
Okay. Well, I'm just off on all these. And then.
And Bengals, 49ers.
I think that means they probably like Cincinnati the most. Cincinnati -1?
No, 49ers -1.
Wow. Okay. I was off on all of them.
All of these lines, though, within 2 points.
Wow.
And I don't know if a Super Bowl has ever closed as a pick 'em. I don't think so.
I thought one did at some point within the last decade. I think there was one.
Did a Super Bowl close as a pick 'em?
I think there was one. I thought that there was one, but maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see if Google knows anything or not.
Interesting.
Let's see. Well, this is going to list all of them, so I'm going to have to do some scrolling here. Dolphins, even though they were undefeated, playing Washington in Super Bowl 7, Dolphins were still only favored by 1.5. That is the shortest line I have seen so far. Oh, Bengals 49ers part 1. Bengals -1.
Wow, they were favorites. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Bengals were fair because they were the more veteran team. Even though both teams were Cinderella because came out of nowhere, the Bengals, because Kenny Anderson, they were a more veteran team. I mean, remember, Joe Montana was only in his 3rd year.
That's true.
Ken Anderson was
true.
in his 10th year.
I found it. I found one. The most recent one, at least, I found.
Yeah, I am still scrolling now. We're probably going off of. I'm
going off of Wikipedia. I was just scrolling.
I'm going
through the
off
most recent
Action
ones.
Network.
All right, so I'll tell you this, John. It was in the last decade.
That we had a pick'em Super Bowl,
and it was a great game. I'm not saying it.
Seattle, New England.
That's the one. It was a pick'em, and the Patriots won 28-24. Yeah. The biggest one in the last decade, I believe, was
now according to Action Network, it was Patriots -1. So it depends on
where it closed.
Yeah,
or
which site you had it. Chiefs 49ers part 1 was Chiefs -1. And last year the Rams,
it was like 3.5.
3.5.
I go back to it. Yeah,
I think it was either 3.5 or 4.
Last year was 3.5. 3.5. They did not cover. Cincinnati covered.
But you don't get a trophy for that.
Don't get a trophy. Nope. You do not get a trophy.
So, yeah, we could have a...
Dude, it
but
seems
man,
like...
it's crazy, isn't it, that we have this? It shows you really how
good these teams are.
How good these teams are.
Look, we said it throughout much of the year, and we talked about this last week. There were 3 teams in each conference that separated themselves from the rest of the NFC and AFC. And all 6 of those teams made it to the divisional round, and then the Giants got in as well, and so did the Jags. At this point, I think it's pretty easy to say that these are the 4 best teams. We did not get a fluke. The Giants, the Jags, dare I say even the Cowboys. Those teams, Dallas wouldn't have been a fluke, but they would not have been one of the 4 best teams. Even the Bills by the end of the year, they were not one of those teams. These are the 4 best teams. And so it's setting up to be, I think, a really good matchup in the Super Bowl. The one wrinkle still for me is just Mahomes. And I guess Purdy. If Mahomes gets in and the Chiefs get in, well, he is a little injured. Let's see what that would mean. And Purdy, I mean, look, he's performed so well, but I'll ask you one more time. Can he keep getting away with this? Can he have another 2-game run where he's like, he wasn't perfect last week, but he did enough? I just wonder. That's how one of the games in the Super Bowl, in my opinion, goes sideways. Is Purdy maybe stumbles a little bit as a rookie, or Mahomes, the injury really shows up in a negative way. Otherwise, it's setting up to be a really good Super Bowl, and I think a really good Sunday this week.
Have you checked our FanDuel Sportsbook promo code 1620
for the Chiefs Bengals line? Is it? Well, yesterday it was Bengals -1. Oh no, is it like 2 now?
It's 2.5.
Ooh. All right. Well, I can't wait to have Mitch on tomorrow because
it's 2.5.
I mean, really,
which in the NFL, I mean,
to
in
move
college,
that much.
in college, we see it with Nebraska all the time. Lines seem to move like a field goal.
Doesn't move like this in the pros.
No,
it does not
Pro
because
lines. And remember,
John, they're liable now.
Right. Remember, the Chiefs opened as a 3-point favorite.
That's the thing, yes.
And immediately the bettors came in and hammered the Bengals.
So that
switched it to 1. And now in the last 24 hours, it's bumped another point and a half.
So here's why this is bad for the book. Because if somebody bet on the Bengals +3, now the line has moved almost 6 points. And so then they can go Chiefs +2.5, and they could win. In theory, they could win both bets.
They could win both bets.
They could win both bets, and that's
if
where
the Chiefs win a 1-point game, if the Bengals win a 1-point game,
they're screwed.
And then the books are like,
yeah. And so that's why, like you said, college, we see Nebraska lines move. We don't see them move like this. Usually they move where the line gets like shorter. You're like, hey, they're a 7-point favorite. Now they're a 5-point favorite, or the other team gets like a bigger favorite. We don't see it where it crosses over from Nebraska being a favorite to Nebraska being an underdog.
Right.
Seeing that's look, Vegas knows. It makes me wonder what is going on with Mahomes and what they have heard.
Yeah.
Because this can't, in my opinion, this can't just be about the public or sharps. Well, it could be, I guess, if sharps know what they're hearing.
Well, this has to be sharp money. I mean, this is not gonna move this much on the public.
Yeah. So that's why.
Because the public's not, well, and that's the other thing, too. Now that the public, thanks to FanDuel, promo code 1620,
nice.
More of the public can get involved quicker, easier. Now, I don't know how quick FanDuel had a lineup on.
It was like
it
was Sunday night.
Right. But I mean, this was.
Oh, no. This line, I saw this right after the Bills Cincinnati game ended. There was a line.
FanDuel had a lineup.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I wasn't sure because the line that I saw flip was the Circa Sports line. Circa is usually one of the first books to put out new lines, but I didn't see what FanDuel had.
Yeah, I saw it in between the period of because there was like a half hour where the first game ended on Sunday and the Cowboys 49. So there was a lineup in that moment. So yeah,
oh boy. Those of us who like chaos are rooting for a 1-point game.
Oh yeah.
Either way.
Oh, yeah.
Just a 1-point game because there's going to be some people in Las Vegas and wherever other lines
Congrats
are set,
to our
just
friends
like,
who have middled.
Oh, my God.
Congrats to our friends who have middled.
Yeah. Or they're hoping, man, come on, Cincinnati. You better win this game and win it big.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You and I were just pointing out, what if this
team
actually
can't say they're rooting for Kansas City because all this money's coming in on Cincy.
Bingo. Because
they want KC to win it outright.
Yeah, if Cincinnati wins by
this whole thing to
Cincinnati
pieces.
For now, let's say they win by 3, they're getting all of them as a dog and as a favorite. So yeah, they're rooting for the Chiefs. They're rooting for the Chiefs. That's what the books are rooting for, which is they're probably not in this spot very often where they're Kansas City fans.
Right.
And let's see it. This is early still in the week. It's Tuesday.
Think about that, Chiefs fans. All of you out there think it's a conspiracy against you. You got the books on your side.
There you
this
go.
week.
You got Las Vegas on your side, Kansas City.
Now all we need is Warren Sharp to shoot some conspiracy video.
Oh, have you seen this? Oh, a referee is going to be at the game.
Coming up next, we will talk to Beau Wolf. The Eagles line has not really moved. It's still 2.5 in favor of Philly. We're going to preview Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game against San Francisco next here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct and 1620 The Zone. If you have heard of carbon monoxide and some of the stories that break, sadly, this time of year, please don't be a statistic. How do you avoid that? Get in touch with my friends at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning and make sure you get your furnace inspected. If you have not done it yet in this year or this winter of 22-23, please get it scheduled. And right now, McCarthy's 1 Hour will offer half off on carbon monoxide detectors with every maintenance inspection. And the best thing about the maintenance inspection is not only does it keep your furnace running safe, but also more efficiently, and you can avoid more costly repairs down the line. So contact McCarthy's today and get that furnace inspected. Don't be a statistic. McCarthy's 1hour.com is the place to go, or call 855-1-HOUR. For McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. At McCarthy's, we're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's 1hour.com.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's Booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cloudy with seasonable temperatures into this evening, generally in the 30s. Tonight we're cloudy, drop back in the low and mid-20s for a low. Maybe a few flurries on Wednesday morning, otherwise breezy and colder, highs staying in the upper 20s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Home is where your health is, where your family gathers together, takes care of each other. And right there with you is Nebraska Medicine. We're proud to take care of Nebraska, to deliver everything your family needs. From immediate care to neurosurgery, it's expertise you can be confident in. With locations throughout the region and telehealth appointments from the comfort of home. Find a provider close to you at nebraskamed.com.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
From sales to service, the Woodhouse team provides insights and solutions to get you on the road faster and keep you on it. And if you're looking for the extras like accessories, extended warranties, or service contracts, they've got those also. Plus, they'll tailor the experience to you, from shopping and buying at home or the more traditional route at one of the 18 conveniently located dealerships, bringing you more every time. Shop with Woodhouse.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a pitch or run scored. 2023 season tickets include in-state rivals Creighton and Nebraska. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS. That's 402-554-MAVS.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Of course, you'll be able to catch all of the action of Conference Championship Sunday right here on the stations of the Zone, 1620 The Zone, on your road to Super Bowl 57. Eagles 49ers is game one on Sunday, and as we start our previews of Conference Championship Sunday, we start with the number one seed in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. Beau Wolf covers the Eagles for The Athletic, and he joins us on the Unsportsmanlike Conduct hotline. Good afternoon, Beau.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Doing fantastic. Did Jalen Hurts and his performance on Saturday satisfy your curiosity about his health?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that was obviously the big story last week. My expectation was that no matter how much the shoulder was hurting him pain-wise, Jalen Hurts, everything we know about him was that he was going to, be willing to throw caution to the wind a little bit and take hits. In that game, I think they were fortunate that they were able to, be ahead by so much that he didn't have to sustain too much contact. But I think this week, going up against a Niners defense that is certainly a little bit more hard-hitting, he's going to have to show that again. But I think the Eagles feel pretty good about him health-wise.
Along those lines, Beau, in looking at both sides of the ball in your first kind of primer for the matchup today, you were looking at that 49ers offense, you were looking at that 49er or the Eagles defense, and you wrote about it feeling kind of like the undercard, even though, of course, both sides of the ball are highly ranked. What is the biggest question that you have in this matchup when San Francisco has the rock?
Yeah, it's interesting. By DVOA, right? This is the number 6 offense in the Niners against the number 6 defense for the Eagles. And because the other sides of the ball are so good, it does feel a little bit like the undercard. But to me, I think it's about two things. One is whether the Niners can control the tempo of the game. I think that's what they're going to try to do. They want to be able to, limit possession, run the ball a lot against the Eagles defense that over the course of the season has not been very good, but they have been so much better in the second half of the season once they signed Linval Joseph that I think the Eagles are okay if the Niners feel like that's the way they run the ball. But the middle of this Eagles defense is where the Niners are going to try to attack because against an offense that throws the ball over the middle of the field so much, it almost mutes the impact that the Eagles have of having such a great combination of corners on the outside and Darius Slay and James Bradbury. So, can they handle George Kittle? They haven't really played a great tight end this season. Can they handle Christian McCaffrey as a receiver out of the backfield? They have not done very well against opposing running backs out of the backfield this year. So I think that's the matchup where I think the Niners are going to try to exploit things. And I think the big question for the other side of the ball for the Eagles is just how much they can get after Brock Purdy, because Purdy is willing to hold on to the ball. And this Eagles pass rush had the most sacks in the league this season. I think they will look at, Hassan Reddick against Mike McGlinchey, the right tackle, as an opportunity to really get after Brock Purdy. And I think they feel like they're going to be able to turn this guy over, even though he has not turned the ball over a ton during his time as the quarterback so far.
Beau Wolf, Eagles beat for The Athletic, joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And you mentioned in your early preview column, the 49ers and their dependence on those in-breaking routes. Philly's defense this year has been one of the best in the league in avoiding those plays from becoming bigger plays, kind of cutting out the yak yards there. How much does the potential of the health of Avonte Maddox change Philadelphia defensively if he's able to play?
Yeah, there are some things in that story that I researched that confirmed what passed my eye test, and then there were some things that sort of surprised me. And I was surprised to learn that the Eagles had been so good in limiting yards after the catch over the middle of the field this season. It sort of makes sense because their game plan is generally to limit big plays, and that means you're keeping things in front of you, and that means if you give up a 9-yard catch over the middle, you're at least coming in to make the tackle. So it does sort of make sense. But the Avonte Maddox question is big. He has missed every game since week 16 with a toe injury. And if he's not up, that means that C.J. Gardner-Johnson stays as the nickel when they're not in their base defense. And the undrafted rookie Reed Blankenship is at safety. And Blankenship has played really, really well. He's been really the only rookie on the Eagles who's made an impact this season. He's really decisive and is a sure tackler and physical downhill, but he does have some athletic limitations. And we saw that when the first time he was pressed into action against the Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson just sort of ran past him for a touchdown. And I think that if you are like Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator, trying to think of nightmare scenarios, one of those scenarios could be Deebo Samuel getting the ball in space and being able to just outrun Reed Blankenship to the end zone. So I'm curious to see what will happen over the next couple of days as Avonte Maddox tries to practice. I think if I had to guess right now, I would probably guess that I think it's unlikely that he'll play and more likely that he would play if they make it to the Super Bowl. But I think it is pretty much up in the air right now.
Beau Wolf joining us. The Cowboys, I thought, for 3 quarters-ish, had a great game plan. They stymied the 49er run game. They really forced Brock Purdy to, execute and try to win the game. And San Francisco was not moving the ball. You just mentioned Philly, like Dallas, great pass rush. But against the run, that's really where everything begins and ends with San Francisco. Are the Eagles good enough in that department if they go with a game plan similar to Dallas to stymie the Christian McCaffreys and the Deebo Samuels in the run game?
I think so. And I think part of the reason that the Eagles, rank so lowly as they do against the run is because that's sort of their philosophical choice. If it's 2nd and 10 and you want to run the ball for 6 yards, they will let you. Their whole game plan is to limit explosive plays. And so I think to some extent it's a choice that they make. And so if they enter this game thinking that is their number one priority, to limit the Niners rushing attack, I think they'll be able to be successful because they certainly have the talent to do so. And as I said, their numbers have really improved since Linval Joseph has been in the lineup. I think that they would feel pretty good about the fact that if the Niners want to run the ball, I think that the Eagles would not view that necessarily as a bad thing.
Beau, one more for me about this side of the ball. John and I, every time we've talked about Purdy for the last month, the question that we can kind of continue to ask each other is, can Purdy keep performing at this high of a level? And it really seemed finally like he was going to have some of those rookie seventh-round moments. Of course, the dropped interception from Diggs, the Cowboys did a great job at forcing him to roll left, and that caused some of his passes to be a little bit off. Of course, the end of the first half and some of that clock management. Given the environment on Sunday afternoon is going to be pretty great in Philadelphia, do you think that this is maybe the best opportunity for a team to take advantage of him being a rookie, or given Shanahan and his nature, are you expecting the game plan maybe to move away from him a little bit and, like John was talking about, maybe more of a run game?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, what Purdy has done has been so impressive. But it is true that he hasn't really faced, an atmosphere like this. And there really aren't many atmospheres like this, an NFC championship game in the Link in front of these rabid Eagles fans. But he's only had, I think, 3 road games, and only one of them was like anything close to a difficult atmosphere. That was in Seattle late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And he played very well. But I think I would guess that Kyle Shanahan probably wants this game to be less about Brock Purdy and more about Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell and getting the ball out quick to guys like George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. But I think the Eagles feel like they have the bullets up front to really put some heat on Purdy and have a chance to turn him over. And I think a lot of this game may also come down to like the game flow of it. If the Eagles are able to get an early lead and put the Niners in passing situations, I think they feel really good. But if the Niners get an early lead, or if this is a sort of a 3-3 slugfest in the second quarter, then all of a sudden that's playing more into the Niners' hands.
So, other side of the ball, you finish your column today talking about Smith and Brown and specifically, some of Brown's frustration, just 3 receptions, 22 yards versus New York on Saturday night. Do you think that he, if not both of these guys, are maybe a bit more primed to have a good Sunday versus what they did versus New York on Saturday?
I do. I think this game on that side of the ball is really going to be a lot about how much production can Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown have. Dallas Goedert is awesome. I think, there's a part of me that expects maybe him to want to have a huge game against George Kittle and prove that maybe he's the second best tight end in the league. But the Niners are so good in the spine of the defense with those linebackers and their safeties. I think where they can be had is on the outside. And Charvarius Ward is very good, but he's not locked down A.J. Brown 100% of the snaps good. And then on the other side, Diamador Lenoir, I think Devontae Smith would feel really good about that matchup if they're matching those guys. And if it's keeping to sides, then both guys would feel good about that matchup. The one place that this Niners defense, which is so good, has been able to be a little bit vulnerable, has been on plays down the field. And I think the Eagles have been one of the best downfield passing offenses in the league this season. And so I think if the Eagles are gonna win this game with any kind of ease, it's going to be thanks to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, this organizational investment they've put into having one of the best tandem of wide receivers in the league. I think this is the game that you hope that pays off for.
Beau, the Philly fan, of course, one of the most rabid intense in all of sports. They've had a Super Bowl run, so it's not like this is a long-suffering deal. It's only been a handful of years since they went to the Super Bowl. But that run was so much more different because there was the mystery of Nick Foles, and it was almost like a Cinderella story just because they had lost Carson Wentz, who they thought was the quarterback that was going to lead them to the promised land. Now everybody is here. It's Jalen Hurts' squad, number 1 seed, best record in the game. What are the expectations now versus where they were 4 or 5 years ago when Philly was making this run?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, you referenced it. They were underdogs in all 3 of their playoff games when they won the Super Bowl. And it is different. And I think what's also different is that 2017 season, having gotten to the mountaintop for the very first Super Bowl win in franchise history, has probably taken a little bit of the pressure off of this team to some degree. There is not necessarily the, oh man, if they don't do it now, I may never see it again in my lifetime. Pressure of following through on being the 1 seed. But that said, this is as good of a draw as you're likely to get to make the Super Bowl. You get the 1 seed, which you fought all year for and you earned. You get a very mediocre Giants team at home. And now, I mean, yes, you're playing a very good team. There are no bad teams left at this point, but you are playing a 7th-round rookie at quarterback with a chance to go to the NFC Championship game. I think the expectations in Philadelphia are that they should win this game. And it's only a 2.5-point spread right now. It's certainly a toss-up, but I think it would be viewed as a disappointment if they do not win this game and go to a Super Bowl and follow through on really being the best team in the conference over the course of the season.
Beau Wolf, who writes for The Athletic, covers the Philadelphia Eagles. Check out his great stuff. Beau, we really appreciate it. Thanks, and enjoy the atmosphere this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game.
You bet.
Thanks, Beau.
I think we will enjoy the game.
Man, he was a really good guest.
Well, it's a good thing Philadelphia is
I'm
probably going to be
disappointed.
dominating this division for the next few years.
Why is that a good thing? Right?
Because
do an
because
Eagles
now we
breakdown in week 9.
Well, sure. I mean, they're going to be the team everyone talks about, aren't they? I mean, they're Philadelphia, the Eagle, which is also the American,
Nick,
the official bird of America.
Nick,
They
good job.
made truly America's team.
Oh, by the way, someone named Riss, she asked, what was that hand gesture? So he mentioned something about the Eagles losing, and that was a prayer. I'm praying to God. Praying to God.
You know,
that they don't, right?
You maybe should have used your prayer to God last week, like Sunday afternoon at about 5:00.
Yeah, I forgot to pray. That explains it.
That's why they lost.
Damn it. Why didn't I pray? Good job, Nick. Good job getting Beau on.
Thank you.
The pressure's on now. You got 2 other
That's
guests
right.
to book.
We got Cincy, and we got
Defender of the Chiefs.
Well, we already have Defender of the Chiefs.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were naming people we had booked. Yeah,
we
have
need Cincy, and we need Frisco.
Yep. We need a lib from Cali. That's what you need, Nick.
You think Frisco would like being called Frisky? Like, we're going to San Francisco.
They are kind of
San Francisco.
John's going to start doing this.
San Francisco.
We're going to San Francisco. Hey, are we going to the game
I mean,
this week?
Let's
go 9 for some gold.
It fits the 49er vibe.
It actually does. It actually does. Michael Bruns is next.
He is not a 49ers fan.
No, he's not, but he's going to have some Creighton stuff for us.
Oh, awesome.
On 1620 The Zone.
Welcome to Digital Express. On the Fort Omaha campus of Metropolitan Community College, Digital Express is an inviting space for people to learn and interact with technology. It's a place where multiple generations can feel comfortable. A place where K-12 students can come for support and workshops. A place where families can connect, learn, and create. And a place to ask basic questions about technology and receive low-cost technology repairs. For more information, visit mccneb.edu/Digital Express.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. Whether it's the pro football playoffs or a rivalry on the hardwood, you'll find all the action on Oscar's upgraded audio-video system. With 40 TVs and massive dual projectors, the game has never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd in Maple.
J-Tech Construction reminds you that this time of year, your home's energy efficiency is under tension. Don't let your windows cost you by raising your energy bills this winter. J-Tech Construction will come out and provide you with a free estimate on upgrading your windows and keeping your energy costs down. They have custom-made, energy-efficient windows that keep the outside out with the professional installation you would expect. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction, your exteriorexperts.com.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just
wipe,
done.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Do you know a high school senior who'd like a $12,000 college scholarship? Well, be sure to tell them that the Salvation Army is now seeking nominations for the DJ's Hero Award scholarships. We're looking for Nebraska high school seniors who have overcome adversity and who are doing the most good in their communities. The application deadline is March 8th. Nominate your hero today. Just go to djsheroapp.org for more information. That's djsheroapp.org. djsheroapp.org.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
What the hell is going on?
On 1620, The Zone.
Here's a story of a man named Brunsy who covers Husker sports, boys and girls, like football and basketball, even weightlifting, like front squats and curls. Then one day, good old Brunsy called a talk show, and acting on what they thought was a hunch, John and Josh wanted to start a family. And now we get to talk to Michael Bruns. It's Michael Bruns. Michael Bruns. Now we get to talk to Michael Bruns.
Of Husker247.com. Good afternoon, Michael.
Hello.
Nebraska's efforts to actually field enough players to have two full rosters continued today as they picked up yet another commit. They got the three-star composite rated wide receiver Demetrius Bell from Nashville, Tennessee. I almost said Kentucky for some reason, but yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. Thoughts on this pickup? As you know, when Coach Satterfield, notice I didn't say a first name.
Nice job,
Coach
Marcus.
Satterfield talked about needing receivers. He was dead serious. I think since he spoke to the media, Nebraska's added 4 wide receivers since then.
Yeah, it is. You know, he was talking about different body types and, you know, needing to kind of make that room look a little different. And it's interesting. I mean, if you look at the last couple of coaching staffs, Mike Riley's wide receivers tended to be a little bit on the slider side.
Yep.
You know, Scott Frost's wide receivers generally tended to be early on were a little bit shorter, but then they kind of, you know, went for a little bit of a bigger, more physical wide receiver. And, you know, I think, you know, they've at least, you know, gotten to what Coach Satterfield was wanting was, you know, some guys that are kind of the bigger bodied Big Ten wide receivers that you kind of think of, but then also finding some guys that are a little bit smaller, you know, that you know, can create issues in space. I mean, Bell's that kind of a wide receiver. You know, Jeremiah Charles, who they got a commitment from yesterday. He's a, you know, a track guy, a little bit slighter. We list him at 6'2", 170. So a little bit smaller guy that's going to have to probably add some weight. But you look at what else they've done. They've done a really good job, I think, of kind of mixing and matching.
Bruns, I wanted to ask you about, I guess, the additions and the roster overall, because, I mean, some have been surprised by just the number of transfers that have come in. I've heard others that are like, I'm not surprised by that, but I am surprised by the number of high school players that they're bringing in. And then when you look at the roster, our latest count, I believe, is the math says they're at 101. How are you viewing all of those things? I know I just kind of threw 3 things at you, so feel free to take it any way you want. But I don't know, very interesting, I guess, the moving and shaking of the roster at this point in time.
Yeah, I think you're kind of having to do a couple of different things. I mean, from the staff coming in, you're kind of having to, you know, backfill a little bit in your classes for that 2020 class that you know, you've lost so many guys from, and that's why you're seeing, you know, I think a little bit more of the portal type guys are a little bit older that come in right away and help you. You know, there's spots that Nebraska needed to address significantly. Offensive line was one of them. They needed to add some defensive edge talent, which I think they've done as well. And tight end's another one that, they needed to bring in some guys. So I think that's where you lean on the portal a little bit. And the high school guys that they brought in, those profile, I think, a little bit more closely to what you would expect a Matt Rule type class to look like, where, you've got your 4-star guys, your Malachi Colemans, those types of guys, but they've also kind of just, attacked more of kind of the toolsier type players. I mean, they've gone out and they've recruited speed, which they've always done. I think with a transition class, I think you can afford to, take some guys that were maybe a little bit more lowly recruited, who maybe you fit your profile or you had a really good evaluation of. So I think this class in particular, you're able to do both with the flexibility that you have of kind of making those scholarship numbers work. And that's a question I get a lot is, how's this all going to work out? It's like, well, I mean, it's going to, it has to. So, that they're going to be really competitive in the spring. You're going to bring a lot of these guys in. And, for the high school guys especially, I mean, you kind of go down the line, and especially some of the guys they've added later on, I think they're more developmental type prospects that you're not really planning on having to count on for a year or two. And that's why you have your portal guys to kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
Michael Bruns, Husker 24/7. I'm looking at a scholarship distribution chart right now, and we're going to go through a roster exercise later in the show. By my count, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate, it might be off by 1 or 2, but there are 22 defensive backs currently on scholarship. I'm going to guess that some of the attrition is going to come from that part of the roster.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty obvious one. I mean, you don't need to be carrying a too deep of defensive backs if you can avoid it. And I mean, that's a group too that's a little bit kind of like the wide receiver room, where it's kind of a very specific body type that the previous staff had recruited, and you're going to come in with some different guys and maybe fit more what you're looking for. But I mean, defensive back is one. I mean, I
quarterback,
find it hard to believe that you're not going to have quite a bit of changeover at quarterback based on the numbers that you have there. So, there's room to cut. As much as they're bringing in, I think there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to have to play pretty well this spring to have roster spots come the fall if they want them. So, defensive back though too. I mean, you've got Newsom coming back. I think you feel okay about Miles Farmer. You probably have to find some guys that can play for you, because there was, even last year, I mean, there was a lot of depth there of guys that were kind of bit special teams players, guys that you hadn't even heard from in a couple of years. So that one in particular, I think you're going to see quite a bit of attrition there.
Bruns, I got a tweet from a listener last night, Chase, that talked about Ed Foley, and he said, Foley becoming one of my favorite Husker coaches ever. And all he's done is drive around, eat, and take pictures of high schools. And like we've heard that a lot about all these guys, right? That they're making the rounds. And I wanted to, I guess, ask kind of a serious question. That is like, what does the goodwill that they are earning ultimately mean? Because, around here, we've talked a lot about having fans in the corners, or lack thereof, of certain head coaches. Frost certainly had his supporters for a long time. Mike Riley had his detractors darn near immediately. Does what is happening right now, does this mean anything for them on the field, or is this just, it's January, it's really fun to see, but ultimately it's going to come down to record, sooner rather than later?
No, I mean, record's going to matter. I mean, that's the ultimate thing is how you look on Saturdays. But I mean, you go back to the first year or so that Scott Frost's staff was there. I mean, they recruited relatively well in state. I mean, they got Nick Henrich. That was a huge commitment for them that I wouldn't have bet on them getting when they took over. But I think it's like anything. I mean, you kind of have to kind of keep poking the logs a little bit on that relationship with the in-state coaches. And a good example right now, I mean, you've got a kid, Carter Nelson up in Ainsworth that has Notre Dame, going through there yesterday. Michigan goes through there, and Matt Rule and his staff was up there. I mean, the reason that you nurture these relationships now, I mean, sure, there's good immediate PR, but also, when you have a kid at that school that's all of a sudden a national recruit, you've been putting in the work to where you're not, just another guy coming through the door. And, I know we've talked a lot about, in the past about making sure that Nebraska has a good relationship in Omaha. I mean, that's, crucially important right now with the number of schools that are recruiting that area and just, the sense that there's at least an opening for other Big Ten schools to get in there and get commitment. So there is the immediate, there is the fun of going to all the local watering holes and going to the high schools that I would probably struggle to pick out on a map. But you're doing that for 3-4 years down the road where if there's a walk-on kid that you really want that's maybe considering like a South Dakota State offer, that you get him, or a 4-star kid that you at least have that relationship built up and they've seen you around the school more than just kind of coming in and trying to get a foot in the door when it's too late.
Bell was today. We had Jeremiah Charles yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? They keep adding 4-year guys. Obviously, they're over the number right now. But if I set the number at 1.5, how many more 4-year commits, not transfers, 4-year commits might we have between now and the next signing day?
You said 1.5.
1.5.
I would take the under, but I still think there's one floating around out there for Nebraska. We still haven't heard much from Sue Lefotu, the defensive lineman in California, and I feel like Nebraska's in a good spot for him. That's kind of where my mind went.
Okay,
for a potential guy deciding before signing day, but yeah, I mean it's. You got to feel like you're getting close to the end here. And especially with, you didn't mention transfers, but, mercifully Nebraska can't get anybody in after January 30th classes. So that'll finally close the book on that for a few months. But I think there's probably at least one more guy. I would say one more guy there that Nebraska's in a good spot for.
Bruns, one more question from me. Basketball. We spent some time yesterday talking about Hoiberg and what this season has meant to him thus far and his job prospects next year. And it made me realize this morning we have not spoken at all about the mystery metrics that apparently he got as well. We were never able to get those numbers because it was something that wasn't written down. I don't remember the exact legalese. Let me ask it to you this way: do you think that he has reached whatever those mystery metrics were or are already? Or because I guess, I don't know, I just keep thinking about the injuries, and I wonder if he has done enough to guarantee another year, or if, regardless, there's still more to be done.
Yeah, I can't speculate on what that metric might be. I mean, the Scott Frost ones were pretty low for maybe what I would have expected them to be. But no, I mean, it's hard because, I mean, you have kind of a split season. I mean, when you were almost at full strength, you beat Creighton, which I think that was a really good win for Nebraska. You almost knock off Purdue at home. You beat Iowa at home. You won a few more conference games. And now it's kind of like you almost just, whatever you can get at this point, you're just trying to keep it between the ditches if you're Fred Hoiberg. So it becomes a much more nuanced conversation, I think, because you absolutely had a team playing different basketball than anything that Fred Hoiberg's had during his time at Nebraska. I think, the changes that they made in the offseason of the staff benefited, him quite a bit going forward. I mean, the other part of that discussion too is with so many of these guys moving on, I mean, what are you kind of building on? So I don't know that he's hit whatever metrics those are. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I think the injuries and kind of the way this season has played out makes it a much more muddier conversation than just, what the win-loss record is. I mean, I think you kind of have to consider the context a little bit more with everything that's happened the last few weeks.
Michael Bruns, Husker 24/7 Sports. Brunsy, thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
Later, Bruns.
Michael Bruns joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
You know what really sucks too, and we talked about this with the mystery metrics component, is like football, like we know what good records are, you know what 6-6 means, you know what 7-5 means, you know what 5-7 means. If I were to ask a fan, hey, what does 13-19 mean? What is, 16-16? They'd be like, well, I don't know. Are you in the tournament or not? I think that's
yeah.
And that's why the bar is so low for where the program has been over the last few years that I have no idea. So I'm with Bruns. Like, I don't even want to predict what the metrics are, but I think the more interesting question is, has he done enough already? Or is there still more for him to do, especially given the injury component that they can't change? But what does that mean? Because the other argument will be, well, you should have better depth, but I don't know what Trev wants to do.
I would like to think now, yes. Can you already have your mind made up at this point? Of course. Right. I mean, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, if you're the Eagles, yeah, I'm good on my guy, Nick Sirianni. I'm good on him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thanks for bringing them up again. That's nice, John.
Well, I bring them up because we're looking at the monitor and they're showing Eagles highlights. That's why I thought of them. But think of any coach who's having success right now. You already know. I would like to think for a coach who has struggled and a program that is vastly underachieved the support that it gets, that the evaluation never ends. I that's what I would demand if I were a fan. If you're in a spot like right now, Marcus Blossom isn't needing to evaluate Greg McDermott, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they know what they have, they like what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Even if this season ends without getting to the tournament, which would be a big disappointment based on the expectations. There's been enough
It's enough money in the bank
that you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But when you're a program that has historically underachieved the support it gets and is the only power conference program to never win a tournament game and hasn't been to the tournament for several years, I would hope that the evaluation is never done, because you always have to be thinking, how do we get better? How do we get better? How do we get better? Because you're in a spot right now where, there's a lot of room to go up. There is not much more room to go down. And I know this year has gone well. And I'm not saying this is my way of saying, hey, if I'm Trev Alberts, I'm looking at my Rolodex of coaches right now. But I'm certainly still evaluating. If I've already come to my decision, hey, this is the way we're going to go, I think you're making a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I think the evaluation still needs to continue throughout the course, because now you want to see, okay, we've seen how you've changed your philosophy. You've gone to a more, slower pace,
defense,
grinded out, defense first type mentality.
Yeah.
But now how do you deal with this newfound adversity? And that doesn't mean that Nebraska couldn't go out and, finish sub 500 and Hoiberg not be brought back, but it's in how you do it. It's in how you fight through it. And that's why I don't think the evaluation should be done at this point.
I agree. They're playing harder. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it really does get into quite the low bar if your reason for bringing a guy back is they compete. But I was saying the same thing in 2021. I didn't care that they were playing hard. I didn't care that it didn't end in blowouts, but you and I were on the same side on that discussion with football.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's butt.
Oh!
Win $100 or even more every weekdays. It's Gary's Booty. Listen for the fat stat of the day, and then if you hear the cue to call and you're the correct number caller and the fat stat, you can win a fat stack of cash, a.k.a. Gary's Booty or Gary's Butt.
Gary's Arse.
$100 is added to the jackpot until the correct answer is given. Listen mornings with Sharp and Hanley on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, heads up, a stall has the right lane blocked on 120th at Center Road, causing delays for southbound commuters. Otherwise, if you're west on Dodge, you're going to see delays between 680 and 120th. Also delays on Blair High Road for both directions between 90th and 103rd. And it looks like if you're on L Street, you're going to see some delays for both directions around the JFK. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Come on, when was the last time you had your Fernando's fix? It doesn't get any better than lunch, dinner, carry-out, even catering from Fernando's. Get your Fernando's fix. 114th and Dodge, 75th and Pacific, and FernandosOmaha.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
NRG Media in Omaha is looking for a sales assistant. This person will assist our sales team that sells radio advertising and digital marketing campaigns for our 7 radio stations. Work in a creative, fun, and fast-paced environment as you keep things organized. Collaborate with our account executives and on-air talent. Learn and grow. Interested in learning more? Go to the careers page at nrgmedia.com and look for the Omaha sales assistant position. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babel.
Babel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babel.
Babel.
Babel. Babel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Okay, all right, Matt Rule.
What did he do?
I'm going to be the first one to say it. You are being a tryhard.
What did he do?
You're trying too hard now.
What did he do?
I mean, this whole going across the state and taking pictures and getting all this stuff. Did you see this? Did you hear about this? Tickets for the Cred White Spring Game go on sale next Tuesday.
Yes, I saw.
Did you see what time the spring game is kicking off on April the 22nd?
Is it the same time it always is?
Did you
1
see
o'clock?
When toe meets leather?
1 o'clock?
At 1 o'clock.
John, it's always at 1 o'clock. This
well,
isn't.
It's been a couple of years. Wasn't there a couple of years where it was earlier than 1 o'clock?
I
thought it was 11 o'clock.
Oh, I thought it's usually
or
1.
noon.
See what you're triggered now that he has it at your favorite time?
No, I'm not triggered. I actually like it. He's
pandering.
He's pandering to me. He's pandering to me now. He's now reached me.
Wow.
Toe meets leather at 1
So
o'clock.
are you when Happer's back? Are you going to have to adjust your number just because he's kicking off? Toe is meeting leather at 1.
Sure, why not?
Wow.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, the pandering boy.
Man, I'm gonna be. This sucks. I'm gonna be gone again. The second straight year, I'll be gone again.
Don't fake your disappointment.
I'm so bummed. Oh man, you think they're actually gonna tackle this year?
It will be interesting to see.
Wow, John just said it will be interesting to see something about the spring game.
Well, yeah, it
You
will
okay,
be
Tom?
interesting to see his philosophy
Time for a
about
drug
the
test.
spring game. Yes,
Here's the thing,
because he does seem to be, a little more. Hey, we need to be more physical.
Yeah,
obviously, and of course, I was being facetious, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't really upset at Matt Rule.
What?
But the fact that this staff has really, in a time where it might actually be less important. And when I say less important, doesn't mean it's not important. It's just not as important. These guys are quote unquote outsiders. They're not Nebraska people. And so they need to, get to know us better.
Yeah.
That's still important. I just don't think it's certainly not as important as it was when Bill Callahan took over.
Yes, because of
it's
who he
not
followed.
as important when Mike Riley took over.
Again, because of who he followed and in a way who he preceded.
But this time around, I think people were just, hey, we just need someone who's good and someone who's got a great reputation and, seems like he's smart and, is trending in the right direction. And I know that Rule had a rough go at Carolina, but his college credentials were really solid. So the resume sold a lot of Nebraskans on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was different from Mike Riley. All honesty, because with Riley it was just such an off the radar.
Well, he never won a league,
right? But if there was a staff that could have gotten away with, putting the stiff arm out and saying, "Hey, we're busy, we're going to work here, leave us alone,"
Mm-hmm.
this staff could have gotten away with it. Yet they have chosen not to do that. They have chosen to go above and beyond. Above and beyond. I asked the question of Mitch yesterday. Any new coaching staff that has come in, whether it was Frost's staff or Riley's staff or Beau's first coaching staff or Callahan's, whatever. You look at all of these changes, this staff has done more in a short period of time, not only to ingratiate themselves to you, the people, but to the high schools, to the local players, to everybody. And if it sounds like I'm mildly surprised, I am mildly surprised because I think they're really going above and beyond. I could even hear an argument where it's like, man, you guys are even trying too hard. And that's a compliment, by the way. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong here. But it's just like, wow, these guys are. And I think this is the group that could have really put the stiff arm out and said, no, we got to get to work here. And I think a lot of people would have understood that and let them be. But man, the touring of the state, all the things on social media, the getting to know coaches, and we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about Nebraska kids for next year's recruiting class.
Yeah.
We're not talking about filling up this year's recruiting class. We're talking about looking ahead to 24 kids here in the state of Nebraska. It wouldn't surprise me if Rule, when he did his research about this, saw some of the pushback and some of the sentiment that Nebraska kids were being taken for granted.
Well, you think back to the quote he had in the
took that
opening?
to his heart and said, we're going to make damn sure that we put not only our best foot forward, both feet forward, and dive in head first into the pool.
He mentioned it at the opening press conference, about wanting, everyone to be a Husker for a day, and that idea. And you think about that idea, and it's having camps in a way, John, for the sake of ingratiating yourself, of getting interest, kind of like you're hoping that in the end, it doesn't pay off with all of these players attending the school and becoming stars for the program. you just want to keep them around as fans because, the younger fan, I think, has been kind of lost. I think the thing that is standing out to me the most is they kind of go on this barnstorming tour around the state. They're going to places where they're not going to recruit players. They're going to these towns where, for the most part, they will not find scholarship athletes. And maybe for the most part, they won't even find walk-ons.
They're not going to find a kid at Wood River this year,
yeah,
I'm guessing.
I mean, they're going to these places, and that's where it goes. In my opinion, I just, and maybe this is me not wanting to be cynical, but this goes so far above and beyond that I don't think it's pandering. That I think there is a genuine.
No, yeah, and I'm not.
And I know you're not saying
that. I don't think
I'm
it's pandering. It's just, but I do. I think when Matt Rule researched this job, and he had plenty of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things, and it's possible too that it may have been something that Trev mentioned to him as well in their conversations. But somewhere, somehow down the line, it got into Matt Rule's head that we are not going to take this state for granted.
A state
that is such a refreshing sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've said it before, this fan base is the most taken advantage of fan base in major American sports. I truly believe that. When you look at the level of support and the level of passion versus what you're getting as a product, whether it's a winner or a loser. This in most places, they wouldn't try as hard as they've tried to keep a sellout streak alive.
Mm-hmm.
That stadium would be empty. Noticeably empty. And I realize, when you look at the scan ticket numbers, they're down. But I mean, it would be very noticeable. Very noticeable. You would get people checking out because it happens everywhere. But it hasn't happened here. And just the idea that we don't want to take these people for granted anymore. That's really important.
And then it's being done with a bunch of outsiders, that's the part that kind of surprises me. And I know that, there are still, I feel like there's still a lot to be written about, the Frost era and why it didn't work out and why it didn't go wrong. And maybe right now isn't the time to do that. But it's just the difference, at least on the surface in these two situations. I mean, it's very notable, it's very noticeable.
It's very noticeable.
Dude, I don't know. I look back at myself 5 years ago, and I think of how I viewed the upcoming era of Nebraska football. And obviously we were all wrong about the football component and how good they were going to be. The thing, though, that in a way I feel like I am more shocked by is the relationships or the lack thereof that the staff seem to have with the state, with the high school programs, and that kind of, one of the worries that you and I had, I think initially, was Frost's relationship with the fans stemming back to 1996 and 1997.
Because I think there was some baggage.
Yeah, and yes, there was. I guess maybe where we really underestimated that was that it would seep down to everybody because they're, like you said, taken for granted. It wasn't even just this place is sold out and they're losing games.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you have these coaches that are like, yeah, it's just nice to see them. It's nice to hear from them. Where the previous staff almost felt like they were above the fray. They didn't have to do those types of things.
Right.
They didn't have to shake hands and kiss babies. But man, even current presidents, when they run for re-election, they still have to do that. They still have to go to states, even though they already won them. They still got to go back.
Right.
And it's like the previous staff just never realized that. They just didn't care. And so this group,
I think a lot of it was they felt that, hey, or I shouldn't speak for all of them, but it came across at least this way from Frost that, hey, it's me. You trust me. And you talk about pulling out a stiff arm and, kind of leave me alone. That's kind of where he was. And, we talk about the relationship of, the coaching staff, or at least Frost and the city of Omaha.
Yeah.
Wasn't always the best.
Mm-hmm.
And it also kind of stemmed back a couple of coaching regimes, which is why, Nebraska hadn't had as much success in Omaha. closing the borders, if you will, in recent years. But these guys, they're going above and beyond, and you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, because even if it doesn't reap anything in terms of recruits, because talent in this state's going to be cyclical. We've gone through a pretty good stretch,
it's gonna ebb and
but
flow.
we're going to have some time where the talent level won't be quite up to snuff. But it puts that message out there to everybody that you are our most important asset. You, the people of Nebraska, are our most important asset. Whether it comes from your physical talents on the football field or your monetary gifts or just your emotion, your passion, your love, you're the most important people. And that's why I think this, crisscrossing the state, and I mean, seriously, I'm almost wondering if they're getting paid by the state tourism
by the mile,
by the state tourism board at this point.
It's crazy.
But I tip my cap to them, because this is what has been needed, because it sends a greater message than just, hey, we're making sure that the state is being locked up in recruiting. It's more than that.
A couple of responses. First of all, JD says, did John say spring game will be interesting? Penciling in John and Happer for big red spring overreaction.
Won't be able to do it. Creighton baseball.
Oh, man, I know how bummed you are about that. And then a couple of serious responses. Scott says, I have to imagine that Frost assumed that his native son status would carry the day for the relationship with the state. Really allowed the laziness to take hold within state context. 100%. And I think that's where the ego comes in. Aaron and Papillion emails into the Equitable Bank inbox. He goes, and it's a picture. It's an attached picture. You have Foley there. You have Matt Rule there. He says, this was this morning at Papio South. Getting around, it definitely can't hurt. I think Frost always thought he was better than all those coaches, but that could be a view from 100 miles away. Who knows? I just hope Rule wins. And he is with, a coach from Papio South. It looks like he's in the weight room there at Papio South. And again, it's just, look, they're not signing guys from that school right now. They're not recruiting the guys from that school right now. And they're definitely not doing it at all these small towns around the state.
If Coach Foley wants a good high school to stop at and get himself a good meal, I know a place.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we should invite them next year to.
Well, they're usually playing a game that week.
Maybe
That's
it'll
the
be an
only
idle
problem.
week, though. Maybe
It could be. Maybe we plan that. Maybe we plan it for an idle week, and we invite Coach Foley. Say, hey, you need to show up at Roncalli. You want to get fed? You're gonna get fed.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna blow your mind,
dude. It is. This is. It's been quite the whirlwind over the last 2 months. It has not gone the way that I expected it to, and I say that in a positive way. I didn't see this coming. I thought that they would be more organized, because it's hard not to be more organized. Low bar.
Yeah.
I thought that the relationship with the state definitely was going to be better. I didn't see it happening like this, though. And look, I get it too. I think it's cool. I think as a fan, you want your coaches to want to coach your program. That is so important to people, and I think it should be. Maybe Saban doesn't care in the exact way Alabama fans would like, but he wins, and so they're definitely okay with it. But this is nice, that you feel like you can look, if you feel comfortable where you could walk up and say, hey, thanks for being our coach. We love having you here. And you're not worried about getting stiff-armed or him being a jerk. Like, how many people were like, hey, I see Frost, but I don't know if I want to go up and say hi to him, just because of the kind of feelings that people had or that they thought he had towards them. So I get it. I get why you'd like it.
402-951-1620 on the hotline. Is it getting too bright for you over there?
Yeah, the sun is popping into my eyes.
Not really.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. It's bright clouds.
Better,
is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's bright clouds.
What's the sun?
I know.
The sun?
Maybe someday we're going to see it. We saw it yesterday for like 2 hours, and then it was like, never
we might
mind.
see it, but it also might be below zero.
I was going to say, yeah, next week it'll probably pop out on one of those below zero days.
Yeah. It's going to get butt-ass cold again.
I don't like butt-ass cold.
Trent says, I think this.
I don't know why that's a level of cold that is colder than most
butts
cold.
are usually a little toasty.
Well, not if they're exposed to the cold.
That's true. Trent says, I just think the staff loves Western Nebraska, unlike somebody in the studio.
That is true.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
I would, honestly, I wish they would have taken you along for a couple of these trips.
It'd be
just so
nice.
you
We
could
could all
actually
learn about the
see
state together. They'd be like, "Hey, Josh, what's that?" I'd be like,
you could learn the state.
Like, that's
Yes.
Chimney Rock.
Yeah. I'd be like, "It's Kearney," and they're like, "It's Kearney, Josh. It's Kearney." Oh, my
Norfolk.
God. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I could tell them about Norfolk.
It's so boring out here. There's no Popeyes.
Oh, that's what is that? Is that your Ed Foley impression?
No, that's my impression of you.
Oh, I thought you were doing Ed Foley again.
What do you mean they don't have Popeyes in Broken Bow?
Yeah, come on, Broken Bow. Get your Popeyes game right. Do they not have Popeyes in Broken Bow?
No, they don't have Popeyes in Broken
The
Bow.
closest Popeyes to where I grew up is either Des Moines or here. It was always a special thing. It's like, oh, we're going to the city. Should we get Popeyes?
Hell yeah. Love
Or
that chicken, Nick.
It was always Popeyes,
Love
Applebee's.
that chicken from Popeyes.
Sometimes my stepdad would have
That's
work
all you
up
need
here.
to say right there. Popeyes, Applebee's. Putting those two in the same sentence,
Hey, look at
very
this.
appropriate.
There's a Popeyes in Kearney. So there is a Popeyes out in western Nebraska. That's great.
and there are still people waiting in line.
Well, probably right now. It's the lunch rush.
Yeah, the lunch
rush.
Yesterday's lunch rush. They're still waiting for the chicken at 4:14 the next day.
Also, we got a text that they were at Bellevue East today too, and it's a picture of them, of Foley and Rule hanging
Seriously,
out.
we need to get the word out to these boys. They need to go to Roncalli, but it's got to be when the Eddies are there cooking their good stuff at the football concession stand. All right, we'll see if we can make this happen.
All right, perfect.
We'll see if we can make this happen.
We just want to be there too. We want an exclusive interview.
Well, yeah,
because we're the
I mean,
middlemen.
While they're eating triangle.
they're the official concession stand of the program.
They are.
And we're the official radio station of the concession stand.
I want the cheese balls again.
Cheese balls were good. I'm not gonna lie, they were good. Still to come, we are gonna analyze the roster. And look at the additions, the subtractions,
multiplications.
Nope,
no multiplications. Though when you look at the number of defensive backs, it is like they have multiplied.
There's a lot.
There are a lot.
There's a lot.
But coming up next, it's time for an NFL hot take market. I have a hot take I can be talked into that involves Josh's team. I would be curious.
I don't know.
I'd be curious. I'll be very curious to hear his response.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
I don't think you'll hate it.
Okay.
I'm not
You're
trolling.
not going to like blow up the Cowboys.
I'm not going to
drop a
you.
literal bomb on the Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you something you should drop a bomb on is the Dallas Cowboys social media department. We'll explain a little bit later on. This week's Zone Deal is for Stories Coffee Company. They have locations in Omaha, Midtown Crossing, and Western Nebraska. Gretna.
Nice.
Stories Coffee. That's I'm reading this as if I were Josh. Stories Coffee, sir.
Hey, I don't talk like that.
Along with a full, I'm so sad.
I am sad.
You are, I know.
Yeah.
A full menu of teas, smoothies, brekkie,
Ah,
lychee.
he said it.
Appy. I'm reading it like Josh.
No, that's Nick.
This week, get $5
don't say
$10
brekkie.
You
vouchers
should.
for only $25.
Nine.
They go on Friday. Nine. I can't do your impression.
You got a little Trumpy toward the end there.
Well, he does have very small hands because he thinks Popeyes has big chicken.
Oh, come on. Damn it. Walked into that one.
The Stories Coffee Zone deal goes on sale this Friday at The Real Josh. 1620thezone.com.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cloudy with seasonable temperatures into this evening, generally in the 30s. Tonight we're cloudy, drop back in the low and mid-20s for a low. Maybe a few flurries on Wednesday morning, otherwise breezy and colder, highs staying in the upper 20s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like a crash with injuries on southbound 60th at L Street is causing delays. Otherwise, getting reports of delays on southbound 72nd between Center and F Street. Slow going on westbound Dodge between 680 and 120th. And then also some delays for both directions on Blair High Road between 90th and 103rd. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $908 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton men's basketball is back at CHI Health Center tomorrow as they host St. John's. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus St. John's tomorrow at 8 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Email Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, it's Nick Hanley for Woodhouse Mazda. Start the new year off right in a Mazda CX-5 from Woodhouse Mazda or Woodhouse Place Mazda, the Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. It's what I drive and I love mine. They have inventory available on the lot and arriving daily. The suite of safety features includes blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and adaptive front lighting system. So as you turn a corner, the LED lights pivot in the direction you're turning. Shop online at WoodhousePlaceMazda.com or WoodhouseMazda.com. A drive worth experiencing. 1620 The Zone will be on location Friday, January 27th at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, Nebraska. Stop by and drop off a donation of paper products, gift cards, or cash. Listen to 1620 The Zone and visit cancer.org/pinkout. The Creighton Blue Jays return home Wednesday night for the first matchup this season with St. John's. Pre-game coverage begins with Ravi Lula at 6 p.m. Tip-off is at 8. The Blue Jays Wednesday night on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. It's unsportsmanlike conduct. The 1620 The Zone.
Yep, time to jump in the jalopy and head on down to the NFL hot take market.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yes, they do have locations in San Francisco.
Frisky.
Why don't you start?
Nothing is good about the NFL. That's no, just kidding. Hot take, I believe. Bill O'Brien is coming back to New England to be groomed for their next head coach. You know, everyone viewed Josh McDaniels as this guy over the last years, but he is in Vegas. And again, I thought he was going to be better this time around. He has not been better this time around. They've had a lot of dumb mistakes. He has struggled. And it's no secret, of course, that Bill O'Brien wants to be a head coach again. Many people on many sides even thought he might be Nebraska's next head coach. He had success in Houston. What was his downfall, John? Being a GM. But he'll be back in the pros. He'll now get to see what has happened over the last year since he's been in college. Certainly the offense for New England will be better next year than it was this year. I don't care who their quarterback is. Feel very comfortable in saying that. And maybe most importantly for the take, he'll get up close and personal again with Bob Kraft. Not that up close and personal, though, if you know what I mean, John. Belichick near the end of his run. McDaniels, he's out. O'Brien in. Hot take. He's their next head coach.
Well, this one, my hot take, I believe, does also involve Mr. McDaniels. But I believe with the rumors coming out over the weekend that, the Packers might be willing to ship Aaron Rodgers. I believe the best play for Aaron Rodgers is to stay in Green Bay. And the best place for Tom Brady is Las Vegas. There is not another team in the quarterback market
that would be willing to deal with the Packers that could give Rodgers what I believe he wants, and
Which
that is
is
another shot at the Super Bowl.
Yo, yeah.
I mean, the Jets, we talked about this
And
yesterday.
ayahuasca.
The Jets probably have the draft capital and the desperation to make the trade.
Yes.
But are the Jets ready-made for Aaron Rodgers? Are they a quarterback away from the Super Bowl?
You could argue they are, but they're
I don't think so.
good wide receiver, really good defense. No? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't think Seattle. I think if Seattle could swing it, I think Seattle could be in a position where he could make a difference. But
Geno did.
But
just
I don't
enough.
think Seattle's willing to give up that kind of capital. Plus, you would have to face Frisco and Aaron Donald 4 times a year. Good luck with that.
He's about to retire, isn't he?
The one I would really like to see, but again, I don't think Miami is willing to give it up, is the Dolphins, much to Nick's chagrin. I mean, think about Brady with Jalen Waddle and the Cheetah.
Don't want
and
it.
that defense.
Horrible.
Nick says, I don't want winning.
I don't want Tom Brady.
I like losing, says Nick Grimm.
We win fine with Tua when his brains aren't scrambled.
I still believe in my prediction. Green Bay will sell out. They will try to get the best pieces around Aaron Rodgers as they can for the farewell tour in 2023.
Aaron, by the way, who's a Packers fan, texts in, no, John, let us get our draft pick. Send him to the highest bidder in the AFC. Jets are closer. Good young wide receivers and a stellar defense and a young running back.
Aaron, stick a pin in that.
Okay.
We'll get to more of that in a minute. Now, going to the best place for Brady is Las Vegas.
I agree with that one, actually. I don't agree with the Rodgers
The
one. I
Brady
agree with the Brady one.
McDaniels marriage would be, I mean, it'd be good for Brady. I don't know, or good for McDaniels. I don't know about Brady because I still don't think McDaniels is a good coach. But they have worked together successfully.
They know each
in the
other.
past.
Yeah.
You got Devontae Adams. You got Josh Jacobs.
It's a dome. I think that matters
Plus,
for a 100-year-old
can you
quarterback.
imagine how the league would love to see Brady versus Mahomes twice a
Two
year?
times a year? Oh, my gosh. And Herbert 2 times a year? That'd be nice for them.
It would be a very fun watch. But I still think the best place for Aaron Rodgers is Green Bay.
Yeah, I disagree with that one.
Why?
I agree. Because I don't think that roster is the roster for him to win with. And I think he would have more success next year with the Jets than he would with the Packers.
I disagree.
Man, that defense, though, John, it's so good. They almost made the playoffs this year with Zach Wilson and Mike White. And I know Rodgers ain't what he was, but he's still good enough.
Yeah, but you got to face Buffalo.
I thought they're Buffalo overrated.
Yeah, but they're still going to be good in that division.
I'd rather be on the Jets.
And you're dealing with the AFC.
I'd rather be
and
on
all of those other great quarterbacks. Stay in the conference that doesn't have as many of the great quarterbacks.
Yeah, stay out of the
Aaron
fun
Rodgers.
conference.
On the other
Aaron
hand,
Rodgers.
Lions.
Oh, I'm
Vikings,
not selling the Lions
Eagles,
short by any means.
49ers, Cowboys.
All right, the hot take I can be talked into. Now, here's where you take the pin out on Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, is this a bomb?
Here's a hot take I can be talked into.
Okay.
Jerry Jones swinging a trade for Aaron Rodgers.
No.
You need a quarterback.
Damn it, Nick.
Now, here's...
Well, the
and
issue is
listen,
they're not trading him in the conference. Schefter reported that earlier. They will not trade him in the NFC.
Just hear
Wait,
me
I
out.
thought you said I was
Hear
going
me
to like this take.
Well, hear me out. Wouldn't you rather have Aaron Rodgers than Dak Prescott?
No, not at this point in their careers.
Really?
Dude,
You're
Rodgers
trying to sell me on the fact that Aaron Rodgers has a chance of being good with the Jets, but he couldn't be good with the Cowboys?
I'm saying the team is better for Rodgers. I don't know if he would do it. He was bad. All right, sell me. Try to sell me.
Now,
do all Cowboys fans get ayahuasca for free? If he's our quarterback, we're all on drugs together, folks.
I have no idea if they get the echinacea for free. But
ayahuasca.
How desperate is Jared Jones? I would say he's very desperate.
You'd assume so.
I mean, he was very sad.
Why the hell did
after
they
that
trade
game.
away Mari Cooper if he's so desperate?
Very
That was
sad.
stupid.
Now, the catch is, what do you do with Dak Prescott? Now, here's where it can get fun,
We
right?
could probably hire a hitman. I don't know.
Here's where it can get fun.
Jeez.
That's what he would do, Nick.
Jeez,
Not what I would do.
Josh.
It's a 3-way deal.
Oh, Jerry's into these things.
Oh,
Cowboys, Packers, Jets.
So Dak to the Jets?
So Dak would go to the Jets.
Aaron to
the Packers. The draft picks
Aaron to the Cowboys.
Go to Green Bay.
Oh, the draft picks.
The draft picks go to Green Bay because Green Bay's losing the quarterback.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like Zach Wilson was going to go somewhere.
They don't need him. They got Jordan Love.
Okay.
Now, I have no idea if this can work. Well, yes, it can work. Everyone says, well, you got to look at the cap space. No, they finagle those numbers all the time. But now again, this is the hot take I can be talked into. A 3-way trade. Dak to the Jets, the draft picks to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers to Dallas.
Dak in the green and
Now,
white.
Man, that'd be weird. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. Remember, they didn't like each other.
They won a Super Bowl together. You keep
like
reminding me of
100
that.
years ago.
You kept selling me that was the reason why McCarthy was such a great hire. Oh, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm giving you the
I never said he
quarterback
was a great
that
hire.
he won the Super Bowl
just
with.
said he could-
In the stadium, he won the Super. The Cowboys Stadium hosted a Super Bowl once.
I did see this, and I did hear about
Yes,
this.
a championship has been won in that stadium
He's just
by Aaron Rodgers.
Like, is he that? I mean, Dak stinks. Like, maybe Aaron Rodgers would be better for 1 year. It's a 1-year rental.
Again, you just want that Super Bowl. At this point, if you're Jerry Jones, you just want that Super
to win
Bowl.
the Super Bowl. So that's why
Jerry
you do
Jones has been efforting for 27 years
He wants the glory
to
hole.
prove that the reason why the Cowboys are great is because of him. There's a reason why they got rid of Jimma. He and Jimma couldn't get along because Jarrah wasn't getting all the love. 27 years have gone by, and Jarrah is still looking like a fool
It'll be
for running
28.
Jimma out of
He'll
town.
be 28 by next season.
Here's your chance. 3-way deal with the Jets.
I don't know how I feel about that. Hot take I could be talked into.
At least you're getting rid of Dak.
This is, again, I could be talked into this. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Kyle Shanahan wins the Super Bowl. He's the best coach in the NFL. Full stop. Period. No qualifiers. Bit too hot, and that's why I put this in a talked into. Let me try to talk you into it. He is a win away.
Andy Reid, man.
He's a win away from making the Super Bowl for the second time. Different starter, and that was only 3 years ago. This guy was a third stringer in September. He wins in a way that goes against the grain, and he continues to lose coaches. He's going to lose another defensive coordinator. And remember, he is the offensive guy, but he's lost his offensive guys too, including Vape Boy coaching Nick's Dolphins.
Fins up.
Kyle Shanahan, I don't want to say he does more with less, but he does at the quarterback position. If he wins it all, he's the best coach in the NFL. I can be talked into it.
No. First of all,
Couldn't be talked
Belichick is
into it?
still alive, and so is Andy Reid. Shanahan's good. I'm not
Belichick
trolling
is not
you.
the best coach in football anymore.
Shanahan is good. Shanahan is really, really good. And all your points are well taken. But remember, they also had some pretty rough seasons in there, too.
Yeah, when they're down to third-string quarterbacks not named Brock Purdy.
He's built a good thing. He's definitely in the top 5. That's for sure. But if Andy Reid is still coaching, I'm going with Andy Reid.
Yeah, and that's why I could be talked into it. For the record, I don't
And
think Belichick's
Sean
the best.
McVay,
Well,
still your defending world champion coach, by the way,
for another few
still
weeks.
coaching.
Sean McVay.
Jordan says, is this the same Josh that would trade 0-17 seasons for the rest of time just for one Super Bowl? Yes, it is. I just don't know if Rodgers is going to do that. If you're giving me Rodgers from 5 years ago, I say absolutely. I just don't know. I just don't know if he is that guy.
He's better than Dak.
Probably.
If you can keep everything else together, and that's a big if, but if you can keep everything
But how
else
much better
together,
is he than Dak? Like 10% better?
more than that.
Because
he's a winner.
Is he?
Yes.
Still? Look at the guy's failures in the playoffs. Look, again, I'm the guy who wants the guaranteed Cowboys success.
Remember, it's more. And
John, he's lost at home in his last 2 playoff games.
I know that we look at the singular, and this is where it gets
hand
unfair.
signals.
And all truth be, it's a little unfair to cast everything on the loss on Sunday on Dak Prescott, right?
Just most of it.
You lose as a team.
Like 85%.
You lose as a
I'm happy
team.
with giving him more than 50% of the blame. Absolutely. I just don't know if Rodgers is like the guarantee. Because first of all, they're showing all the free agency that the Dallas is about to enter into. They're going to lose a ton of players. They're about to lose a lot of guys. The defense is going to get worse. It can't be this good again, mainly because Dan Quinn's about to leave. So I kind of start there. I think next year's team has more problems than how old will he be? 40? a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Well, then
can fix.
maybe you should just trade
Next
Dak.
year's going to suck.
You should trade Dak right now. Just start the rebuild right now.
Can they? I worry the cap that he would eat up a lot of the cap, so I don't think they can trade him. But I think he has 2 years left where they could after
the
that.
The Bears have a lot of room. They could use a backup quarterback.
Sure, why not? You jerk. I just don't know if Rodgers is the way you're describing him is like 6'5", maybe even 4 years ago or 2 years ago in Rodgers. I just don't know if he's that guy anymore. He struggled a lot this year. He had lots of issues. He's missing guys.
But how much of that was they didn't have? I mean, he had for 2 years in a row now. He's had a very young group around him.
Why didn't he work with them in the offseason? That's
he'll have CD Lamb.
That's on him though, not working with his guys in the offseason. There's a part of me that just doesn't want that.
You don't want to win. I'm starting to think now.
Don't want to win.
I'm starting to think now.
I love showing up after the Cowboys lose again.
You're now sold to the bit. You're like Jack and Nebraska ball. You're just sold to the bit now where it's better that they lose so that people can come and feel sorry for you. I'm trying to give you a plan where you could win, you could finally get to a championship game, and you're just pooping over it.
Does anyone feel sorry for me? Who are these people?
No. I'm not saying you're saying you're doing a good
She's
job
happy
at
that
it.
I'm in pain.
I'm not saying you're doing a good job at it, but here I'm giving you a plan. I'm giving you something. And you're crapping all over. Who is sure he's really good?
Rodgers.
He's better than Dak.
He's won a Super Bowl.
That's awesome. He's better than Dak. Cool. So are a lot of quarterbacks.
Well, I just gave you a plan.
He's not the quarterback next year is not the difference between him. This isn't Mahomes. Can I have Mahomes? I'll take Mahomes. Can they trade? Can we do this menage a trade?
And here we go with deranged Cowboy fans.
I like menage a trade.
Menage a trade. Thank you. By the way, Rusty, you forgot one of the matchups that if Brady is on the Raiders, because we mentioned Mahomes, you get him.
Well,
twice
yeah,
a year.
you'd get Brady
Herbert,
and Russell Wilson twice
a year. Now
that's
right. A matchup. Rematch of the Super Bowl.
Russell,
that was a pick 'em.
And the good news is Russell will probably replay the most famous matchup between the two by throwing an interception at the goal line.
That's right.
See, now my friend who's a Packers fan, he's texting me now. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. He's not that good anymore. Wow, he's better than Dak. This is awesome. Dak is like the 16th best quarterback in the league. Let's name the other 15. There's
Aaron Rodgers is one of them.
That's fine. He's not the difference between the Super Bowl and not. He's not Mahomes. He's not Herbert. He's not Burrow. He's not any of those guys.
Who was the name of the Super Bowl winning quarterback this year or last year? Matthew Stafford.
He
ain't Burrow. He ain't Mahomes.
Yeah, but
you don't need Burrow or Mahomes to win a Super Bowl.
You don't if you
There's
also
a good chance Jalen Hurts will win a Super Bowl.
This is a compliment. That's a compliment, though, to the situation that Sean McVay has built that they could win a Super Bowl with Stafford. They also don't have that.
I bet
you're pointing out all of the other problems that the Cowboys have.
This year's roster could have won the Super Bowl with a healthy Matt Stafford.
Maybe. I mean, probably not with Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, but maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to help you.
This isn't helping.
I'm trying to help you.
This isn't helping.
Well,
thought you wanted to help me.
I did.
What about a new vehicle?
I want to help you by getting a new vehicle.
Hell yeah. Tell me more, John.
Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, just north of Omaha, I-29, exit 75. But Josh, he's a millennial. He doesn't like people. He doesn't like getting close to people, but he loves being online. That's why you can go to woodhousegm.com and you can shop their entire inventory. Take a look at all of it. And even chat with their experienced and friendly sales staff with their online chat. You can schedule a test drive. You can value your trade. Josh trading in the Josh Mobile for a new Equinox, a new Blazer, or Malibu. He's a car guy. He wants a Malibu. Well, you can do all of that, and you can too by visiting woodhousegm.com. So schedule that test drive today and find new roads to Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. Or, yes, you can still visit them in person right in their beautiful showroom just off of I-29, exit 75, just north of Omaha. Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620, The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, We're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. This offer has been extended for a limited time. Hi, I'm Rodney Steven. It's the new year, and you have set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. Offer extended. Act now. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. This offer has been extended for a limited time.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babel.
Babel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babel.
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 Babel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Noted Wisconsin fan Kyle, who is also, for the sake of this or the purpose of this conversation, noted Packers fan Kyle, says, your quarterback sucks. Would you like my team's weirdo QB who won't show up to anything in the offseason and then miss wide open receivers and make grumpy faces all game? No, that sounds like hell.
Hand signals and ayahuasca, Josh.
That sounds like hell.
That's going to be the name of his autobiography.
I thought we were trying to find a way for Nebraska or the Cowboys to win in the playoffs.
And I gave you an idea.
Oh, man. Aaron Rodgers, another home loss. Like, no, I don't want him. He does the same thing the Cowboys do. Flames out in the playoffs in horrific fashion. Why would I want
here's
that?
A question for you, as KD points out, Cowboys could have won one with Brock Purdy.
No, they could not have. Not this Cowboys
If
team.
you switch out the quarterbacks Sunday, everything else stays the same. You switch the quarterbacks, who wins the game?
49ers, because they have Shanahan. I bet Dak's a better quarterback in San
Well,
Francisco.
yeah, you're probably right, because they wouldn't put him in positions where he had to go win the game.
I think if Dak had that kind of talent and that play call around him.
Well, and then assuming the game plays out similarly, if Pollard goes down, then there's Brock Purdy's a dead man walking.
What's the thing that we always say about the Cowboys? They're like the dumbest team in America, right? Okay, so let's throw the dumbest team out there with a 7th round quarterback as a rookie. I mean, they probably would have gone 4-13.
Yeah,
and that Katie, that's why I just said Shanahan.
Yeah.
If they win it all, John, a rookie quarterback has never started in the Super Bowl. a rookie quarterback has obviously then never won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He would do both of those things
Mm-hmm.
in this world that I'm, wish casting, obviously, because I don't want him to win this weekend. And he's a 7th rounder. This isn't who is the number 1 overall quarterback pick who was the number 1 quarterback that was drafted this last season?
It was
Who was it? Or like last year, this isn't Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
It was Pickett, right? Kenny Pickett was
yeah.
This isn't even him. And even Kenny Pickett had flaws. People are like, is Kenny Pickett a first rounder? That's why, that franchise is just ridiculous.
No, you're right.
Absolutely ridiculous. Look, now you made a solid argument, and somebody pointed out earlier, Belichick, where was it? Here it is, Sam. Bill only has 8 rings SMH. Look, I'm not saying Bill Belichick, I've said it a million times, I'll say it one more time. He's the best coach of all time, period. Right now, he is not. He is not in that conversation for me as the best current coach in the NFL. They've taken too big of a step back since Brady left. And I always was someone who was like, I'm going to give him equal credit, and I actually lean more Belichick than I do Brady. I don't know, because I think the arguments are a little sound now if you're like, look at Belichick pre-Brady, and now we can look at him post-Brady. Who has had more success since he left? Brady has.
Yeah,
by far.
He has.
By far. So, look, Belichick's the best ever. Not right now. I would pick 5 coaches that I would want to build my franchise before him. And maybe that's where my Shanahan take really comes from is I would want him to build my team.
Yeah, and that's a solid reasoning.
Mm-hmm. Jordan says, what about Derek Carr to Dallas? Oh, okay, so let's take West Coast Dak Prescott. Nah, I'm good. It's just like you got Kirk Cousins, which is Minnesota Dak Prescott. You got Dak Prescott, which is Dak Prescott.
People like that?
No, see, they're all the same quarterback. They're all the same quarterback.
I don't know if they're the same quarterback. I don't know if they all have their shortcomings. Obviously, I'm not sure if they're the same quarterback. It kind of boils down to fit too.
They're all slightly above. Well, I don't know if Carr is, but the other two certainly are like when things are rolling well, they look really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then they throw a check down 3-yard route on 4th and 8 with the game on the line, or they insert 8 plays from Sunday here.
Did you see
I thought
this?
I had moved on. But
did you hear about this?
John trolls me all day.
I didn't troll you.
Hey, what if you traded for this guy?
I tried. I'm trying, folks.
Trying to make me happy?
I was
failing.
I was trying.
You're failing.
I am
winning a
failing.
Super Bowl
Sam,
with Aaron Rodgers.
real quick, Sam
this is what I get for being nice.
One thing before you get to your point. Sam asks, who is East Coast Dak? This is easy. You ready? Daniel Jones. Everyone's overreacting because he had one good game.
He had more than one good game.
Dak has had more than one good game. See, now this is when you get ridiculous. You're going to say Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott?
No, I'm not saying he's better. I just don't know.
They're all the same. They're good enough, but they're not good enough. And that's the problem.
Do they elevate the level of play of the people around them?
No, definitely not. He got to play the Vikings. They're the worst defense in the league. Just like Dak, they got to play the Bucs. A disaster of a franchise this season. Anyway, sorry, what were you going to say? Sad Husker fan. This pity party is fantastic. Well, sad Husker fan, it takes one to know one.
What?
Well,
His name's sad Husker fan,
listen,
Nick.
While there's no more Cowboys playing this weekend, there are 5 Huskers still playing this weekend, which is tied for the 4th most of schools with former alums playing in their conference championship games. Oklahoma has 9. They have the most. And I wonder, Alabama, I guess, gets to claim both Hurts and so does Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was going to say, who gets Hurts?
I think they both do.
Yes.
Who gets Burrow?
Is it both a half? Is it a half vote?
Yeah, right? Yeah, this should be end a half.
Well, Oklahoma's got 9, Michigan 7.
7? Wow, 9 and 7.
Florida, Georgia, Ohio State 6. Clemson, Nebraska, USC 5. That's right. Nebraska's got one more ex-Husker playing this weekend than Alabama has members of the Crimson Tide.
Wow.
Take that.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
One of these things just doesn't belong. That's Nebraska. So they got who? They got Cam,
Taylor Britt, Stanley Morgan,
Jack Stoll. Who are we missing? Oh, well, Cam Jurgens.
Mm-hmm. And
a lot of Cams.
There's no one on the Chiefs, right?
Jordan could have been 6 if we went after Burrow.
Now he's been on the practice squad.
See, that's what I was going to say.
Is DiCaprio?
Yeah, I don't know if he would count in this discussion.
This was by the way, it was a chart. It was a graphic put up by Oklahoma because they were touting.
And this does not count Zach Taylor.
No, it does not.
Who's the head coach,
who are we forgetting? Someone. There's no one else on the Bengals.
Someone's got to remind us if we are.
No one. San Francisco doesn't have any.
I don't think so.
Former Huskers. Maybe they are counting DCAP.
San Francisco has Iowa players and Iowa State players.
Sue. He's with the Eagles.
Oh yeah, and Dominican.
Oh, and Rusty points out. He says, "Yeah, it's Boodle." No, I think it's Sue, right? So
no, it's Sue.
I forgot. I always forget about Stanley.
Yeah,
I always forget about Stanley.
So yeah, Nebraska's got 5 left, and they have a head coach. BYU. Did you know that Andy Reid went to BYU?
No,
that's his alma mater.
I think in my brain that's somewhere.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Sirianni was a Mount Union.
What college would you have pegged Andy Reid for before you do? It was BYU.
I would have guessed some like small college. I wouldn't have guessed like a big football school.
Because a lot of these coaches, well, not the ones
like Sirianni, he's Mount Union.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Division
coaches,
3.
Nick, that are from like Chip Kelly. He's from like he coached at New Hampshire, but he was like, they're from like the Northeast corridor. Well, you have these guys that are like, Ryan Day, he's a New Hampshire guy. And it's like, oh, wow, that's weird. The head coaches in the NFL are from these, liberal arts colleges on the East Coast. Yeah, it's very unique.
And Kyle Shanahan went to
Texas. Because remember, he has the tattoo. Him and Chris Sims, they have tattoos of their names on each other.
That's why I'm thinking I'm going to have to ask Gary.
Gary?
But after the infamous 2002 game, the game where Nebraska almost came back and won with the
Mike
late
McDaniels
interception.
went to Yale.
After that game, as Gary and I were leaving after all the press conferences, Mike Shanahan, I don't remember if Phil Sims was there, but Mike Shanahan was there, and they were walking out of the stadium, and Kyle was there, and Chris Sims.
Mm-hmm. You want to get tattoos of each other's names on our bodies?
I could have changed the course of history and kept Frisco from being relevant again.
Do kneecap him?
I could have taken him out right there. I said,
"Hey, Gary, give me a baseball bat. I'm going for his knee."
But I woke up this morning when I was doing that research. I'd forgotten Kyle Shanahan was at Texas, and that's right. We ran into him out in the parking lot.
Dave says, "Wait, there's a bunch of recent Huskers on NFL rosters playing this weekend. I'm getting the sense that talented players were here, but so were bad coaches."
Well, I mean,
Dave, I think you're right.
Sue's the oldest one of the bunch. He comes from the Callahan Beau, and then everyone else was Stanley crossed over. Obviously, Cam Taylor-Britt's probably going to end up being the best Husker from the Frost era.
I mean, Cam Jurgens is such a unique example because
Jurgens
on one hand, like they were right. How about the fact too that he came in? I don't know how no one's talked about this week. He came in for the last drive or second last. He had a high snap.
He did?
He had a bad snap.
Oh my God!
My dad texted me. He goes, "Come on, Cam, what are you doing?"
You know what? I think
on brand.
I think I had turned the game off.
Yeah.
I think I turned it off before Philly's last possession. I switched it to something else.
Very on brand.
Oh, that's too bad.
Dan says, "I don't think the problem with Dallas is Dak. I think the problem with Dallas is Dallas." You would be right, Dan.
It's not totally
wrong. And then Amazing Daniel. I trigger the Steelers fans because I'm like, maybe Big Ben wasn't the best quarterback of all time. He says, "Are you going to start on Pickett too? Going to be a long 15 years. If Kenny Pickett," and see, I don't want to say something I'll regret, but if Kenny Pickett wins,
well, you've already. I mean, we got Jalen Hurts. Kenny
Pickett's not.
You were out on Jalen Hurts.
Kenny Pickett's not winning a Super Bowl. There. Now, congrats to the Steelers.
Put it on the list. The permanent list.
He's not. I don't have a permanent list.
Yeah, we don't have a permanent list.
Yeah, he's not winning the Super Bowl. As a starter.
You know what? I might endorse that.
My take?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Look who he's got to face.
It's too good.
He's got to face the Burrow Bengals, the Mahomes Chiefs,
Josh Allen Bills,
the Josh Allen Bills,
wherever Lamar Jackson is, if he's still in the AFC. Herbert's still there.
The Dak Prescott Jets,
the Aaron Rodgers Jets.
Maybe the Jets should trade for both of them.
Maybe they should. A quarterback battle.
Destroy their entire cap.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming up next, we're going to go up and down the Nebraska roster. We're going to look at the departures, the people that are coming in, And Josh, I believe, is going to grade them.
Yes, I put together. I'll explain it next.
We'll explain it next. It's the happy hour. We're going to try to pull Josh out of the sadness.
Good luck.
Next on 1620 The Zone. You know, it is conference championship weekend. I'm looking forward to it. And FanDuel is going to make it even more exciting for you because it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. They're giving all customers a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means free bets back if your conference championship same-game parlay doesn't hit. So, same-game parlay, for example, you can take the Eagles minus the 2.5 and maybe add Jalen Hurts over on his rushing yards. That's a same-game parlay. Or if you like San Francisco, you can take San Francisco plus the 2.5 and maybe go over on Deebo Samuel receiving yards. However it is you want to do, because same-game parlays pay out better. It allows you to craft your own bets, get bigger payouts, and if it doesn't work out, no problem. You get free bets back if your same-game parlay this weekend doesn't hit.
I'll look at the AFC game, John, and while I have not decided yet on which team I like to win, there are some anytime touchdowns that I feel comfortable in putting into my same-game parlay. Kelsey for the Chiefs, no matter who his quarterback is. I like Travis Kelsey. And why not Jamar Chase? This dude is a game maker for this franchise. Cincinnati gets the ball thrown to him a whole lot. You got Joe Mixon at plus 105 as well. You can put those together or a variety of other props that they have on FanDuel. If you are new, sign up with our promo code 1620. See for yourself why it is America's #1 sportsbook. And if you already have an account, no problem at all. You as well can start building your no-sweat same-game parlay today. And again, for the first-timers, promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa, 3+ legs. Minimum $1 bet is required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus is $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like that wreck still has the center lane blocked on eastbound I-80 as you approach 24th. It's got stop-and-go traffic back to at least 50th, so avoid that part of eastbound I-80. Got a crash on eastbound 480 at the JFK split, so be ready for slow going through there as well. Stop-and-go traffic on westbound Dodge between 72nd and 90th, and then some delays on Blair High Road for both directions between 90th and 103rd. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $908 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
Lanahaw Nurseries has been your dependable full-service source for locally grown trees, plants, and landscape materials. Rooted in tradition, our products and services are consistently ranked best of Omaha in quality and value. From design to install, our experts are here to help bring your landscape vision to life. Start your next project this weekend. Visit us at 192nd and Center. Lanahaw Nurseries, your homegrown headquarters since 1974.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk to facts about Orgovyx.
Orgovyx Relugolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovyx is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovyx may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. Why would it be advisable for me to have you do my roof versus somebody else?
Well, integrity of myself and our employees, longevity, what we do here in the community, that has to go a long way, and I believe it does. We do what we say we're going to do, and if there is a problem, we're going to come back and fix it.
So make the right call, fans. When it comes time to replace your roof, your gutters, and siding, there's only one call to make. The rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw. It would be nice to have a pro. Throw from your mom.
The happy hour, which does not have coupons, is on the air.
Oh, now you perk up.
Start talking about coupons.
I don't want to be depressed. My Packers friend, now he's texting me 8 paragraphs about why Aaron Rodgers is still good.
He is. He's better than Dak.
Packers fans like Aaron Rodgers.
His QBR this year, I looked it up. Aaron Rodgers, 26th. Dak's was 12. They both stink. I don't want either of them.
Well, good. Cooper Rush, here we come.
Don't want him either. Just want to be good. Is it that hard to add? They made the... Oh, they were so close. God, I sound like Scott Frost.
Thanks, Scott. Did you see this? Did you hear about this? It's something that came out over the weekend. Apparently, there was a person scoping the eBay.
What?
Scoping the eBay.
I like
eBay.
It's fun to go to eBay and search vintage and then your favorite NFL team. I'm going to search vintage Rams because you get all sorts of stuff.
I want to look at vintage
Dolphins. So the 90s stuff is really back right now, but there's some old jerseys. I like this hat, vintage 90s.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
$95 for a Rams hat. John, you want this?
No, I don't.
All right.
I have plenty of Rams hats.
So yeah, anyway, I like eBay.
But someone was scoping eBay and came across a new item that is being purported as being some throwback jerseys that Nebraska will wear next year during the 100th anniversary season at Memorial Stadium.
Now, are we sure?
Now, we have no idea if this is actually legit. It's what it's being purported as.
Are you sure that these jerseys aren't from the fine movie The Replacements?
No.
Starring Keanu Reeves?
No. It is not.
Whoa.
It is not.
Because they sure look like him. Because this is the 100th anniversary of the stadium.
Yeah, the 100th anniversary of the stadium. According to sportslogos.net, multiple sources confirmed that Nebraska will celebrate the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium by wearing throwback uniforms during a game this fall. And then they saw this jersey first appeared as a, quote, sample in an eBay listing from a user featuring it's a plain red jersey that has a Memorial Stadium patch on the left shoulder that includes the phrase 100 years through these gates, and then has white stripes, and inside of the stripes it has the famous sayings on the turrets, the corners, in commemoration of the Nebraska of the men of Nebraska who served and fell in the nation's wars, for example, in the deed, the glory, all that other stuff. But the thing that makes this jersey rather unique is that the red jersey has a white number 7 outlined in blue.
Okay, now you are a historian.
Yes.
And when they played in that stadium, the cameras were in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So we've never seen a colorized photo.
No.
Did
But-
they have blue around the numbers?
No, but what happened was the first game in the stadium, which was against Oklahoma, back in the days before, there was an Adidas and they didn't have,
Adi Dassler.
And this would have been a time that
Adidas.
would have triggered a lot of Oregon
Move the
people
the.
because they didn't have 17 different jerseys. No, they had a jersey.
And Oregon. Because it was 23, of course, John.
Oklahoma brought their red jerseys, and it was hard to tell the two teams apart. So Nebraska wore blue jerseys.
Oh, so this is in honor of
So
that.
that's the thinking here, is that the blue outline of the white numeral is a nod to the fact that Nebraska actually wore blue in their very first game in Memorial Stadium.
Dumb debate. Should they wear blue jerseys?
That would be my thought was...
Now, it'd be funny because the announcers would really have to explain it and because everyone would be very confused.
Right.
But I'll be honest, I think that would be cooler because I'm happy you said that because I'm sure I've heard that story. I didn't remember that story. But when I saw this photo, I was like, okay, what am I missing? Because that doesn't even seem like a style that they would have even done in 1923 to have another outline around the number itself.
Yeah,
a blue jersey, I think, would be cool.
They'd have to change that one Killigan song.
They would. Nick, that's a great point. But I'm with Zach, who writes in, those throwbacks are absolutely effing terrible.
Well, they're not. I don't think they're terrible.
They just are weird.
Well, they're not.
I don't know
the
if
only
I'd call
thing
them
weird about
throwbacks.
them is the outline of the number 7 in blue, right?
Okay, so here's...
It's very plain. That's what it is. But if you're going to do a throwback, for a 100-year-old stadium, you would, you're not going for Oregon, splash and dash, or Miami trying to look like you just got beamed down from the Enterprise.
Here's my question.
The old Miami jersey.
Do we believe these are real?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know if I do.
Go back, show the thing of the stripes.
So, yeah, there are I'm assuming these are stripes on the arms or something.
It just looks too tacky. It looks too tacky. I hope that this is not real.
Honestly, what they should do is go back to, and maybe you could tweak them with I'm sure they'll have a special patch the whole season, but just use the jerseys that they used against Illinois, the throwbacks, the kind of it wasn't a true throwback, but it was made to look like an old-timey jersey. Remember what they played that cold day game against Illinois?
I love those. I loved the helmets. I loved everything about those.
I didn't like the helmets because
uniforms.
it looked like they were wearing a jock strap on their head, but
maybe that's what they wore in the 20s. I did
seriously,
like those
just
uniforms.
just go to plain white helmets and wear those same jerseys with the cream pants. I think those were classic.
I hope that they're going to do something.
They will.
I hope that they're going to do something. I hope that they wear blue. Trev, if you're listening right now, first of all, we appreciate you tuning in. Second, wear blue. I think it'd be really cool. It'd be so different.
Just make sure when you do it, you're not playing a team that also is blue.
Oh, that's true. What's the home sketch? Because the first game at Memorial was played around, was it November or was it October? Because it was not at the beginning of the season.
It was in October, I believe.
1923 Nebraska football. It was Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, it was Oklahoma.
Okay, that game was on October 13th. The closest game to October 13th in 2023 will be, if you're going
Will
before...
be the Meryl. Well, no, I'm sorry. Will be
Northwestern on the 21st or Michigan on the 30th. See, man, how cool would it be to do something to celebrate this against Michigan? Also one of the proudest programs in college football history. The winged helmets would look cool against whatever you decide to do.
Well,
I guess
then I
I
definitely don't think you want to wear blue for that
because it would be very confusing.
Yes.
So
I don't know if you necessarily have to wear blue. And quite honestly, I don't know how many fans actually know that. I dare I say most fans don't know that Nebraska wore blue. It's just one of those odd
We'd have
things.
to, yeah. I mean, you just explained it to me. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking at the 2018. Why, you don't like those helmets?
No, because it looked like they had jock straps because it had it was made to look like it was a leather helmet. If they wanted to do that
with brown,
it should have been a brown helmet.
So what would you think about these uniforms with the helmets brown for the 100th anniversary?
I'd have to see them, but I might be able to.
Would you do darker brown pants?
No, I'd go cream pants.
Cream pants.
I love the cream pants.
You love the cream.
I love the cream. Who doesn't love the cream
pants?
You love? Nah, I'll just stop. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I hope they do something to celebrate.
Oh, they will. You know they will.
Rusty says blue isn't one of our colors. John Bishop, probably.
Well, no, it's not. But again, it would be a nod to the oddity of the first game, and they had to wear blue.
The scarlet and the cream
And blue. Amazing Daniel says, get this J-skirt jersey nonsense out of here.
Oh, it is a J-skirt jersey,
You
isn't
can put
it?
the
maybe
little
they finally...
J on one arm and Herbie on the other arm.
Absolutely.
But the old school angry J.
Mm.
The old football.
Oh, yeah.
Creighton
J.
still had a football team when they opened Memorial Stadium.
Zach writes, and speaking of uniforms, almost every recruit has tweeted photos of themselves in the, I like how he describes them, the icy whites. I wonder if Nebraska will wear those as their away uniforms this season. I hope so. It's a slick look. Look at the icy whites.
Oh, the surrender whites.
Nope, we're taking it back. These are the icy whites.
The surrender whites.
Because I don't think the stripes are on the pants. I
Which
like the
makes
look.
them even look more like a white flag.
Man,
We surrender.
Doesn't. You going to make a joke about Nick and France?
No.
Put on a tee for you.
No, they don't need
John's
to.
gonna be like, those are the Nebraska
whites.
French uniforms.
Why do people hate the red pants? I don't.
John, we
get
don't hate them. We just think that this is a cool look.
It's not.
It is, though.
It's bad. And they always do bad in them.
They don't always do bad. See, don't say this. This is what
They
fans that annoy me
always
say.
do
They
bad. They're
always
terrible.
lose. Oh.
They're the worst.
They don't always lose.
The white with the red pants is such a classic look. It's a great
It's fine. It's okay. But
It's
the white,
much better than surrender whites.
icy whites.
Surrender.
Kevin says, is that the jersey from the movie The Replacements? Yes, it is, Kevin.
It's kind of close. It's kind of close.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie. It is kind of close.
Out on the icy whites, in on the replacements.
Maybe they should do a jersey from a different decade for each home game.
Now that is an idea. Are they legally not allowed to wear not tearaways, but the crop top jerseys anymore?
Yeah, I believe so.
They should bring those back.
Want to see some midriff?
Hell, dude, Nick, that's why the 90s teams were so
I mean,
good.
Of course
Grant
he does.
Wistrom's belly was hanging out.
He wants to see Jim Harbaugh naked. He had a shirt of Jim naked Harbaugh.
Oh, is Harbaugh going to have this look too? That'd be cool.
No,
All the coaches
it would
have to wear
not
the
look-
midriff
It would
shirts,
not
too.
be cool. It would not be cool.
What would you do from the 80s? The ones with the big N on the shoulder?
Well, they did those. Remember, they did those last year. I think wasn't it for the Georgia Southern game? They did. They did the.
Oh, yeah.
They did the throwbacks.
Wow, I totally
You don't
Bring
remember
back
that?
the
Yeah.
Noid jerseys. Those are the coolest
Oh,
ones.
yeah, because they didn't
they're
have
not doing the Noid jerseys.
And I totally forgot about that. JC says, someone tell John the icy whites aren't made of mayo. Is that why you're afraid of them? Because they remind you of mayonnaise?
No, I don't like them
Mayo's
because
John's Mr.
because
Casey.
they look bad and they suck in them. They suck in those jerseys. They are terrible.
In those jerseys, they always wear the white jerseys. John, they suck in everything. They're not a good football program.
So why do you want to make them worse by making them wear a surrender
I think it's a
flag?
clean look. You take out the uniforms, you clean them off.
Well, it's a clean look when they wear the red pants. They clean them.
It looks a little like blood's everywhere. In on blood.
You kids.
Kids. I know olds who like the all white look too.
Yeah, and they're the kind of people that
Like the all white look in other areas. Is that what you were going to say, John?
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to say anything.
We like the whites.
All right, we're going to go up and down the roster.
All right.
When we come back,
Awesome.
look at the additions, the losses,
Awesome.
strengths and weaknesses. Josh is going to give each position group a grade.
Yeah. And I'll explain it next. I'm interested to see what you think of some of the numbers that I'm about to throw at you.
Well, I'm guessing if I like it as much as your stupid surrender whites jersey idea, I'm going to hate this.
Probably.
The whole
I see
exercise
white.
on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. You know, we've been spending this entire segment talking about alternate uniforms, throwback uniforms, and if you are in the stadium, if and when Nebraska does that next fall, well, sometimes the number's a little bit different than the numbers that you're used to. Certainly the nameplates on the back of the jerseys, those things might not even be a thing. So you're watching the game and you're saying, wait, is that a 9? Is that an 8? Is that a 5? Is that a 6? You're asking those questions because perhaps you struggle with your vision. Kugler Vision can make sure that no matter if it is current uniforms or if it is throwback uniforms, you will be able to see the numbers sharp when those players are on the field, on the court, whatever it is that you are watching. And Dr. Kugler and his team at Kugler Vision, they perform all 7 FDA-approved forms of modern vision correction. Friends, that is something you will not find anywhere else in the state of Nebraska. Whether it's struggles with seeing up close, struggles with seeing things far away. Again, if you're watching the game or you have an astigmatism, maybe the readers are a new thing. They have a procedure that will help you out. Visit their website today, kuglervision.com, and check out their special New Year's savings on modern LASIK, 402-558-2211 or kuglervision.com.
The Connor Happer Show.
There's no one in the history of sport who loves to hit you with a video of himself chopping wood at 4:30 in the morning more than Justin James Watt. And he wants you to know about it because you're lazy and he's the hardest worker in the room. I say, if we're going to be okay with putting mediocre players in the Hall of Fame, then sure, what better place to start than J.J. Watt? Wow.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cloudy with seasonable temperatures into this evening, generally in the 30s. Tonight we're cloudy, drop back in the low and mid-20s for a low. Maybe a few flurries on Wednesday morning, otherwise breezy and colder, highs staying in the upper 20s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like that wreck still has the center lane blocked on eastbound I-80 as you approach 24th. It's got stop-and-go traffic back to at least 50th, so avoid that part of eastbound I-80. Got a crash on eastbound 480 at the JFK split, so be ready for slow going through there as well. Stop-and-go traffic on westbound Dodge between 72nd and 90th, and then some delays on Blair High Road for both directions between 90th and 103rd. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
There's a lot more to love for a lot less at Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Heart-shaped jewelry, gemstones, everything you need to show your love. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the Celebration of Love sale with 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
It's time to find a career that's right for you. Metropolitan Community College can help you find a new path forward on your time. Whether you need a degree that puts you on a path to a new career or need to finish a degree you've already started, MCC makes it affordable and convenient with a flexible class schedule, online or on campus. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start March 9th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/adults.
Creighton coverage on The Zone is presented by Berry Law. At Berry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Berry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit berrylawfirm.com. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nebraska or Iowa attorneys, a partner men can count on. 13340 California Street, Suite 200, Omaha, Nebraska, 68154. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Stop being a dumbass! This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
So, with the addition of, and by the way, yes, Nebraska got yet another commit today from a wide receiver out of Nashville, Demetrius Bell. Yep, that's the new recruiting sounder, the new commit sounder. Nebraska's up to, we believe, 101 players on scholarship, which means 16 have to go before the start of next season.
Crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But we are going to go position group by position group and look at the additions, the losses, and Josh is going to assign a grade to them.
Yeah, so here was the way that I framed this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned am I about each of the rooms?
Okay.
Given the additions.
So a high score is actually a bad thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You want a low score.
Yeah.
You want a low score. Like, for example, I'll just get this one out of the way. Kicker and punter, I have as a 2. Don't really have a whole lot of concerns.
Yeah, because the only thing that's changing in the specialist room, I mean, you do have a transfer coming in as a long snapper and Marco Ortiz, and Tristan Alvano the star kicker from Omaha, West Side. But Bleak Road is back, and Steve Buscemi is back.
Bingo. So it's like, why should I have concerns? They both performed admirably.
Yep.
No issues with them. Yada, yada, yada.
All right. Well, Matt Rule's all about the lines of scrimmage, right? So let's start with the offensive and defensive lines.
Oh, okay.
Offensive line. Gone. Banks, Hickson, and Bando are gone. Returning, you got a lot of guys returning. Among guys who have started, will probably start next year, Ben Hart, Piper, Corcoran. Don't forget Teddy Prohaska comes back from injury. Nuri Nurili returns from suspension, and he would have been a starter last year. Then you got the transfers.
Ben Scott
from Arizona State, who you might pencil in as a starting center.
I would.
Jacob Hood, of course, who just transferred from Georgia.
I would not pencil him in as a starter.
And then among the rest of the depth, don't forget, Nebraska got a transfer last year from Iowa. Ezra Miller. Still hanging out there. So that's what the offensive line looks like right now. Again, a lot of players back,
folks,
from a very heavy sophomore-laden class last year.
Yes.
Plus you get Prohaska, plus you get Newilly, plus you get Ben Scott. Now, are you factoring in who their position coach is?
Absolutely. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not concerned, 10 being very concerned, I went with a 7.
So it's still above the mean.
Yeah, and so here's what I like. There is experience back, and they're gaining experience that didn't or barely played last year. I think that's a solid start.
Agreed.
They're adding a player who's going to start at center who has Power 5 experience. I think that's a positive.
Yep.
They will have multiple offensive line coaches now on the staff. Head coach, former offensive line coach, Marcus Satterfield, former offensive line coach, Ed Foley, et cetera, et cetera. Experience, we went through all of it. But Donovan Raiola, still need to see more, obviously. So if I felt more comfortable in him, my number would be a little bit lower. Also, I mean, we've been hearing for years that the pipeline was going to finally be good again, and it hasn't. 7.
I think it's a fair number.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to both be encouraged because, hey, you have nailed down the center position. You will have a couple of guys that you were either starters or would have been starters last year returning. You do have experience coming back. But as you're fond of saying, not all experience is good experience. But I do think there's reason for some optimism, but also heavy reason for concern.
Yep.
So I think 7's a fair number.
All right.
Defensive line. Now, here's where things get a little weird because we don't know exactly what the makeup's going to be. We hear about the 3-3-5, obviously, last year. Nebraska ran a 3-4, but really it was a 4-3. 4-2-5, to be more precise. But so as we count defensive linemen, we're also counting edge rushers in this group. So gone are Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Devin Drew, Colton Feast. Returning, you've got interior players like Robinson, Ty Robinson,
That's a big one.
Stefan Wynn, Nash Hutmacher. You got Jamari Butler returning on the edge. You have Blaze Gunnerson returning on the edge. Here's where you have a slew of transfers. You have Elijah Judy from Texas Tech or Texas A&M.
Yep.
You have MJ Sherman from Georgia edge, and you have the JUCO transfer in Kai Wallen.
And I mean, we just talked about Raiola. This coach, Terrence Knighton, very little experience.
And you did bring in, now we don't know if, and I'm going to include some freshmen in the conversation, Cam Leonard, Maverick Noonan, Princewell, Uman Million, as some of the freshmen that might be worth keeping an eye on. So what do you think of defensive line? Again, not knowing 100%, exactly how it's going to look in terms of schematic and how they're going to fit certain pieces in certain places.
So I have 7 of the OL.
Yep.
I have 9 for the defensive line. Is that fair? Is that too high? Is that too concerned?
No, I don't think so, because you've got a ton of turnover.
A lot of turnover.
Including your your best defensive lineman, Garrett Nelson.
Yeah, and
gone.
the experience that's back, it's like cool, but like Ty Robinson, I think is a good important piece to have back.
Yeah, both your backup edge rushers returning.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a great defensive line last year.
See, and that's where I start now. Look, I know I just said what I did about Knighton. He could be that dude. He could be that good, and he could make these guys better. But I don't know. There's like a base level of talent that you're going to need at the defensive line. You know, maybe MJ Sherman is going to help provide that. He was a highly ranked player out of high school. And look, if he turns into a good player at Nebraska, we're all going to be able to look back and say, yeah, he was at Georgia and just behind a lot of guys. It's going to be pretty easy to figure out why he didn't play a whole lot. Let's just hope that that's the case. But I went with a 9 here. I'm very concerned because of the importance of this group and how you just can't hide bad defensive line play. You know, you can't. It screws everything up. So I'm concerned. But maybe the answers are there.
Well, here's a pretty easy position to analyze because everything's exactly the same with one big addition, and that's quarterback.
Yeah. So here is,
with of course Jeff Sims being the big addition, but nobody to this point has left. They're all back.
My number is 5, but the number is less like concern in the traditional sense and more who is going to start and how will that player fit in with the Satterfield offense and what they're trying to do. So that's why I went with a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, as of now, everyone's back +1. That won't be the case. They're not going to have 6 scholarship quarterbacks. Someone will leave. Someone's probably will leave. And look, Casey was very good, in terms of what he was asked to do, and he played, through pain and stuff, but he was not a perfect quarterback. Sims is certainly not a perfect quarterback. So I also think it's fair to have just general concerns. But I went with a 5. I am concerned, but I can very much be talked into some positivity with this group.
Here's where I would bump it down just a little bit.
Like a 4?
Yeah, because of the way they talk about Jeff Sims. Truly, folks, for the first time in what seems like a long time, there's going to be a real intriguing battle because you have 2 guys with equal amounts of experience. One is a returner, and normally you give them the edge, but it's a whole new coaching staff who went out and specifically brought in this transfer. That transfer is going to get a chance to work with this staff extensively in the spring, whereas Thompson will be going through mental reps, not physical. I think the fall is it's going to be a fun watch.
Definitely.
To see who comes out on top and how much a full spring gives Sims a leg up where typically you would go with the incumbent. So I would actually lower it a little bit. I'd say a 4, maybe even a 3.
Okay.
Because they're obviously very happy with what they have in Sims. And I think they're going to learn to become pretty happy with what they have in Thompson once they get to know him.
So you just gave 2 numbers, a 4 and a 3. I have one position group with a 4, one with a 3. Which one would you like? And then you can tell us about the players that they've lost or gained. Do you want me to tell you about the 4 or the 3 first?
Go with the 3.
Let's go with the 3. The group that the quarterback will be handing the ball off to. I have a 3 for the running back room. Here is the questions. Is A.J. Allen healthy? And look, I'm going to add this, and maybe I don't have to, and is he still on the roster? Let's see, because there is another window. Who will start if he is healthy between him and, as our dear friend Jack Mitchell likes to call him, I Test Anthony. Anthony Grant. Otherwise, this room does seem pretty solid with those 2 players at least. So that leaves my concern level much lower just because of those 2 guys alone. Are they perfect? No. I think A.J. Allen was very good. I hope that he's back to full health. I think Anthony Grant has issues, but he also was almost a 1,000-yard running back and at times had horrible quarterback play, But get into the room in terms of what they gained and what they lost.
Yeah, I don't.
They didn't lose anybody, right?
I would probably put this kind of in the middle at 5 just because we still really don't know what they have. I mean, yeah, they got depth.
That's fair.
And we feel good about these names. There have been times where hearing these names have given Husker fans warm and fuzzies, but there's not a stud in this group.
Fair.
I don't think there's a stud in this group. Now, can they become that with this new regime? That's hard. That's
but
hard
are they
to say.
running backs above replacement? And I think they are. I think they're
Yeah,
better than average.
I would put it at 5.
Okay. So we disagree on that one.
I would put it at 5.
The group that I have at a 4, defensive back.
Well, here.
Are we off on this?
This is so gone. You only lose Jaden Gould and Brandon Moore. Here's everybody who's coming back.
Everybody.
In no particular order, because I part of this, I went off last year's final depth chart against Iowa, so obviously there's a few names that might be missing because of injury, but Javen Wright is back. Omar Brown is back. Isaac Gifford is back. Quentin Newsom is back. Miles Farmer is back. Deshaun Singleton is back. Braxton Clark is back. Malcolm Hartzog is back. Noah Pullet Gates is back. Phelan Sanford is back. And you get Marcus Buford back.
Are you saying this number's too high?
And Corey Collier transferred in from Florida. No, I'm not saying the number's high. I'm just saying when I asked the question of Bruns, where's the attrition going to come from? Because you got to cut some guys. I listed a whole bunch of guys who have a lot of experience and some good players in this group. You can only play 5 at a time, maybe 6 occasionally. And yeah, you'd like you want some depth there, but man, there is a lot. There is a log jam here. In fact, we counted it up according to the scholarship chart. There's 22 defensive backs on scholarship currently. 22. That's more than any other position group.
That's crazy. So that's going to get pared down. So you like it at a 4?
Yeah, I mean, I could even say it might be a 3.
2 or 3.
But but maybe you push it back up just because as you try to get, familiar with a group as Tony White and Evan Cooper get familiar with this group, there's going to be some hard decisions. And this is where you could probably see if it looks like things are going a certain way in spring ball, where that second transfer portal, you might see a few guys that might surprise you in that transfer portal if they think that, hey, I may not play with these guys. There's just a lot of dudes here.
So we have 2 position groups we haven't gotten to. Well, I guess 3 if you want to count tight end, but wide receiver, tight end, and then linebacker.
Well, I separated out the wide receivers and the tight ends, but from the tight ends group, you're losing Vokalek and Brewington. Borkature is back. A.J. Rollins is back. You're going to get Thomas Fidone back from injury.
Fingers crossed.
Eric Gilbert, the Georgia transfer. Not to mention Chris Hickman is still around.
Yeah, crazy.
Brody Tagaloa from last year's recruiting class. I mean, there's a lot here, but is there?
And here, name the receivers too. That just because I combine them, and I'm going to give the same number for both.
And receivers again, quite a few back, but gone are Omar Manning, Oliver Martin, and Wyatt Leeward. They're gone. But Marcus Washington is back. Alante Brown is back. Tommy Hill, who you remember midway through the season, switched positions. He is back.
You didn't mention Trey Palmer, did you? Did you mention him? He's gone, obviously.
And Trey Palmer, I forgot to mention to put Trey Palmer on here. He wasn't on the last depth chart. Then you get Betts and Garcia Castaneda, who are back / transferring back in. Then you get the transfers in Josh Fleeks from Baylor and Billy Kemp from Virginia.
And then they've got
not to mention you've added a few young guys,
including one of their newest commits,
including Bell, who just committed today, Jaden Doss, who committed, and Malachi Coleman, the highest rated player in the state.
All right.
So again, another very crowded group.
8 for both groups. And now I combine them together. But here's my reason why. There are bodies, yes, but they have attacked specifically, John, with the receiver room. They've attacked recruiting in the portal in a way that makes me think they're very concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they are willing to bring, now we don't know about, I guess, if Betts and Garcia Castaneda, if one, both, or neither will be on scholarship. But I mean, that says a lot that they're willing to give those guys second chances when one of them didn't play at all. And one of them left his team within a month, not even. So I went with an 8. And by the way, I went with the same number for the linebackers. Just too many questions.
Really?
Yeah. Is that too high?
Well, okay. Your two top linebackers are back, Luke Reimer and Nick Henrich.
In terms of overall tackles, right?
Yeah. Now,
because
of course,
obviously
Nick's coming
Hausman
back,
is gone.
but you do lose Caleb Tanner, you lose Atiba Maga-Clements, you lose Ernie Hausman, you lose Chris Kolarvik. But the two top guys in Reimer and Henrich, or at least considered, are back. Snodgrass is back. They brought in Chief Borders as a transfer. Plus, you've got some youngins like Byer and Kapai, who were from 2 recruiting classes ago.
You know how you viewed the running back room a few minutes ago and saying kind of like, do they have that dude? That's, I guess, how I feel about the linebacker room. You know, they don't have a superstar.
And again,
in there.
this is where the 3-3-5 and how they're going to position certain guys. I mean,
maybe that's a good thing
where
for this discussion.
some of the guys that we've listed as edge may end up being, more the traditional linebacker or in a linebacker role, the second level in the 3-3-5.
Yeah.
So it's a little up in the air, but I think the fact that you have Reimer and Henrich back,
folks,
lessens my concern a little bit. I would be concerned about depth.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess I'm not. Maybe
I could bump it down to a 7.
I'm not overly critical of your 8.
7. Couple comments real fast. Jordan says corkboard. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't call him corkboard. Sam asks, is Casey Thompson the Dak of college football?
What?
And then Jojo asks, is John hitting an Irish pub with that hat after the show?
There's one down the street. It's good.
No.
Going
Get
on
us
Dodge?
on tap. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not hitting an Irish pub.
The scarlet and the cream
and blue.
Thank you, Nick.
And blue.
And blue.
You can join us this weekend, this Friday, at the Hope Lodge, American Cancer Society Hope Lodge, just down the street, 80th and Farnham, just down the hill from Children's Hospital, as the Connor Happer Show and this program will be there for our annual paper drive. We're raising paper, cash, gift cards for Hope Lodge, which is a place for cancer patients and a loved one to stay for the cancer patient to get their life-saving treatment here in Omaha. And if you can't make it there and bring, paper products like toilet paper or paper towels, you can make a donation online by going to cancer.org/pinkout. That's cancer.org/pinkout. Or join us in person, Hope Lodge, 80th and Farnham, this Friday, Connor Happer Show and 1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct for the Creighton versus Cancer Pinkout game.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
J-Tech Construction reminds you that this time of year, your home's energy efficiency is under tension. Don't let your windows cost you by raising your energy bills this winter. J-Tech Construction will come out and provide you with a free estimate on upgrading your windows and keeping your energy costs down. They have custom-made, energy-efficient windows that keep the outside out with the professional installation you would expect. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction, your exteriorexperts.com.
O'Reilly. Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery does need to be replaced, we'll help you find the best battery for your vehicle and your budget. Don't wait until your battery is dead. Get it tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
Okay, Nick, what do you have for us today?
In the first portal window, Nebraska added 11 total players. How many more do you see joining the fray in May when the second window opens up?
Well, I mean, if they're truly going to try to build 2 full rosters, that means they're going to have to add a lot more. They're certainly on their way. I will leave the door open to maybe one, but I kind of doubt there will be another one. I think this transfer portal, the second window, will be more for the outgoing players than incoming, but we'll see.
I definitely think that they'll obviously have a lot of outgoing guys. I think it'll be more than one. I think they're definitely going to try to fortify the offensive line maybe a little bit more, and I wonder if they'll try that with the defensive line too. I think otherwise, though, like, not that they're like great everywhere as we just went through the exercise, but I think they're going to be mostly set in the other positions. But I just wonder if they have one more look at the lines. I'll say three.
And that's real. I mean, and that's really hard. And we don't know because this is the first time we've done the windows before. But man, those are the 2 positions where it's hard to pull out quality transfers.
Stephon Diggs was noticeably critical of the offense during the Bills' loss on Sunday, prompting reaction from fans and media. He's responded, quote, "Want me to be okay with losing? Nah." Diggs tweeted, "Want me to be okay with our level of play when it's not up to the standard? Nah. It's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result. Everything okay in Orchard Park?"
Well, I mean, no, because they lost. Their window seemed kind of wide open. You know, we talked about Dak's contract yesterday. Same thing could be said for Josh Allen. I believe it's $16 million this year. It's going to go up to $40 next year. So his low deal is now done. Look, Stephon Diggs, this has always been his MO. When things aren't going well, you know, he'll show the frustration, and some people are turned off by it. I like it because I think look, it's why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Him and Josh Allen, they just did not seem on schedule on Sunday. And it showed throughout much of the afternoon. How much of that was weather? How much of it was the defense that Cincinnati was playing? You know, I don't have the answer to that, but look, people get frustrated with their teammates. You know, that's pretty normal. So they'll be fine.
Yeah, this is Stephon Diggs. I mean, he can be a little dramatic. He's venting. He's frustrated. But it's a long off season, and a lot of this is going to fade by the wayside. Now, if he continues to vent and go off during the off season, yeah, then I would be concerned. But no, it's just guys being upset.
They lost in the
guys
playoffs.
And at least it was Stephon Diggs doing this and not his team's own social media.
It's fair to say that he didn't Diggs that game. Bill O'Brien, who both of you had on your short list to replace hashtag Scofro, is I like Scofro, is heading to New England to be reunited with Bill Belichick in hopes of fixing New England's offense. Will this be the move to make Mac Jones great again?
I don't know. Belichick tried to get too cute with how they handled the offensive situation last year, and it did not do well at all.
For Harris.
Nice.
Josh thinks that Bill O'Brien, this is his grooming for the eventual head coaching position.
Belichick's a groomer. Whoa.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this is going to be the thing that fixes Mac Jones. What I'll be interested to see is how much more aggressive will Belichick be in the offseason to try to get some better players on offense to maybe help out Mac Jones. That, to me, is going to be more impactful, in my opinion, than Bill O'Brien.
Look, Mac Jones is not like the perfect quarterback. He's not even Dak Prescott, John. I think we can all agree on that. But you know what? He was a better quarterback when he had a good offensive coordinator and a good offensive coach, and that's Josh McDaniels. Bill O'Brien is both of those two. He might not be as good as Josh McDaniels as an OC, as a quarterback's coach, but he is very good. Will he make him great? I don't know. I don't want to put that label on Mac Jones. I think he'll definitely improve him, though, to the point where he'll become their head coach. Check out the hot take market if you don't know what we're talking about.
Josh?
Nick.
I don't mean to dogpile on your misery.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But a report said that Zeke Elliott is willing to take a pay cut to stay with the Cowboys. Is he still a serviceable backup running back?
No, definitely. I mean, unless they're giving him like $1.
Wow.
Not if he's like backup running back money, if he was truly making backup running back money, sure, he's worth that. But he is not worth the pay cut I'm guessing he would like to have because he gets like 2 yards a carry. How many times on Sunday did you see daylight when he got the ball and it's like, wow, if that's old Zeke, he's getting 15 yards, 20 yards, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And it's been that way for years.
The good news with all of this is the fact that we no longer have to see Zeke do the stupid feed me routine every time he gains 4 yards. Yeah, cool.
It was when he got first downs.
Well,
it's when he got first downs.
He's not getting first downs anymore.
Yes,
but
I know.
But I'm with you. I'm with you on the idea of, yeah, if he's willing to make backup running back money, but is Zeke, is he really going to be all in on wanting to continue to play? If he's making backup running back money after the money he's made in his career? Highly unlikely.
Hope they get rid of him.
Kansas did indeed lose their third straight conference game last night and now sits in 4th place in the Big 12. Will the Jayhawks finish outside of first place for the third time in 5 seasons?
Well, look at the schedule, how it lines up. Now they have the SEC Big 12 Challenge game against Kentucky, and normally you would say, "Ooh, Kentucky." Well, Kentucky's been he's been on the slide, but they are at Kentucky, and who knows? And then the next 3 games after that, rematch with K-State in Allen Fieldhouse, at Iowa State, home against Texas.
That's tough.
It is tough.
They still have Baylor ranked team. They have TCU ranked team.
By
They
the
have
way,
Texas
they
again.
have never lost 4 in a row. This is the 4th time they've lost 3 in a row under Bill Self, but they've never lost 4 in a row. That's the pressure that'll be online this Saturday at Kentucky.
Definitely not winning the Big 12. I say, you know me, John, college basketball watcher when it's the Final Four. And the tournament. No, but they're not winning. They're not. That definitely ain't happening.
Yeah, Bill needs to check himself.
Before he wrecks himself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Following a safety review of the Big House, Michigan will move end zone seats and widen the tunnel entrance at the stadium. This, of course, in response to the fights that broke out this past season. But wait, I said tunnel entrance. These changes don't affect the dimensions of the tunnel itself and are related to fan interactions rather than the player incident that occurred inside the tunnel. So will this even do anything?
No. I mean, they'll probably have more security, so there will. I'm put it on the list. There won't be fights inside of the Big House tunnel this year, but this is odd. This is very strange. They're adding standing room only over there for the fans. I'm perplexed by the whole thing because at first I read, I was like, "Oh, this makes sense," and you get further down, and you're like, huh?
No, it really doesn't. Well, I think they need to do a better job now in basically saying, "All right, visiting team gets to go off the field first, and then Michigan gets to go."
Yeah.
And
wait like 5 minutes maybe.
But yeah, if they're not gonna fix this problem, truly fix this problem, then Michigan's gonna have to make other sacrifices. Because what happened last year should never have ever happened. And it's just I can't believe all the damn money these schools make that they have teams coming out of the same tunnel.
Well, it's an old stadium, John. It's a million years old.
Yeah, so is Memorial Stadium. They managed to figure that out a long time ago.
Good point.
Chip Carey, grandson of Harry and longtime Braves announcer, is moving to St. Louis to be the new TV voice of the Cardinals. Will the third generation Carey come to regret this move?
Of course he will, because he now has to deal with Cardinal fan. But it is rather interesting
because best fans in baseball.
Because Chip Carey has made his bones mostly with the Braves, which is where his dad, Skip Carey, had most of his career. So the fact that the Carey family is coming full circle and coming back to where it all started for Harry, it's rather interesting. I'll be curious to see how annoyed Cardinal fans get with Chip Carey. Because a lot of Cub fans didn't like Chip. They thought he tried too hard. I always liked Chip. I never had a problem with Chip Carey. But as we know, Cardinal fans like to think that they're smarter than they are, and they're very vocal.
In baseball.
They're very, very vocal.
What are you saying?
I'd rather live in Atlanta than St. Louis, so he'll regret it for that perspective.
Chip did go to high school in St. Louis, so he's been from there. But
I'd rather go to Atlanta.
He spent almost 20 years with the Braves.
See all the hiking areas around Atlanta? Oh, it's gorgeous.
I've seen the show.
Yeah, the show. The show's
Fantastic
great too.
show.
Hiking, John?
You went on
There's
hiking?
an Anheuser-Busch plant there in St. Louis.
There's beer everywhere, John.
The Rams? Oh, no, they're in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Got him. LaRosa is 222 points away from breaking Kareem's all-time.
224.
200. Did I not say
You
that?
said 222.
My bad. 224 points away from breaking Kareem's all-time NBA scoring record. The projected date for the big moment is February 9th at home against the Bucks. But the night before the Super Bowl, on Saturday the 11th, they're scheduled to play the Warriors on ABC. Put the tinfoil hats on. Will the league manipulate something to make sure the record is within reach in prime time on network TV?
Like what, you dorks? What are they going to do?
Well, I figured I asked this question for you because you're being the
big NBA guy,
the NBA hater that you are.
An update. As of now, we have cable.
What?
I'm a TNT boy again.
You have cable.
I'm back to watching the NBA. Apparently, it's cheaper than streaming.
But can you imagine? I mean, think about it.
It's
Network
cheaper.
TV Saturday night
The Bucks
before
game
the
will
Super
be on
Bowl.
TNT.
Yeah, on a Wednesday or
on a
Thursday.
Thursday.
On
That's
a
the night we
Thursday.
watch basketball.
You don't
We
watch.
do now,
You don't
baby.
watch.
I'm a TNT boy again.
You don't think ABC wouldn't love to
What are
have
they
that
gonna do
moment?
though? Like block his shots? The rest gonna swat his free throws in the previous?
Well,
game?
maybe there's a game where I'm so tired, I can't
Think I'll
play
go
this
home
grueling
now?
schedule, and so he skips a game.
You
to
make fun of
sure-
me for maybe dabbling in conspiracies, and then you're like, the whole league is going to make sure LeBron does the record on a Saturday. And I'm the weird one.
Or maybe LeBron himself being the attention guy that he is.
He is an attention guy. I don't know. The other ones at home, though, people love records being broken at home. And he's played for the Lakers since, 2018.
Oh, yeah. Long-time Laker.
Yeah. Everyone remembers him as a Laker.
I do.
Yep. Definitely not anywhere else.
Go Lakes.
Coming up next, it's the bet of the day on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Join up, join in. It's time to make good on those New Year's fitness resolutions by becoming a member at Croc Center Omaha. There you'll find a full range of fitness activities, from free weights to Zumba classes to an indoor track, pickleball, and more. Join now and save. We'll waive the fees, plus you'll get 1 month free with an annual paid in full or auto pay membership. The Croc Center is just moments away from the Kennedy Freeway and Q Street. Go to omahacroc.org for more information. That's omahakroc.org.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's. Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers, and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Save now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. Get deals on select major appliances and take home what you buy same day. And save an additional 10% on all in-store clearance appliances. Plus, get 10% off in-stock kitchen cabinets with a $1,000 minimum purchase and save even more on clearance cabinets in-store. Shop the Truckload event in-store or online today. Must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. About 119th and 125.
You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Feel like I'm on some kind of crazy trip or something. The 1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you?
Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right. Last night in Bet of the Day, we were all losers. John liked Kansas to win. Lost. I liked the over. Lost.
Yourself.
And
NCAA should have put you on suspension for a lot longer.
Good call. Nick had a parlay and the Stars let him down. Another Dallas team letting us down.
Thanks,
Who knew?
Josh.
Give me the Celtics tonight at the Heat plus 2.5. I can watch this game because I have TNT. It's a TNT Tuesday on the FanDuel Sportsbook promo code 1620 plus 2.5. The juice is minus 114.
Can Georgetown end its long losing streak at home against DePaul? I say no. Give me DePaul on the money line plus the over at 151.5. It's the same game parlay on the FanDuel Sportsbook promo code 1620 plus 215.
Real quick, the over was
151.5.
All right.
Call me Sir Lewis Hamilton because I'm running with the Penguins minus 170.
It's bet of the day.
Iowa.
And there you go.
DePaul plus. It's always weird when I type it out because I have to I don't know, I type it differently than
because people are betting on DePaul. Is that why?
It's very strange.
Thank God for DePaul.
Are they the dogs in this game?
No, they're 2.5 point favorite.
Right for the best. A comment from Sam. Josh is right. It's way cheaper at this point. Talking about cable. YouTube TV is $75 and you can get cable with your internet package for much less. It's very strange. Remember when YouTube TV came out? It was like, this is so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't anymore. Plus, we have movie channels for free, and I have TNT now. I'm watching the NBA. Man, I love the NBA. Oh, I can't wait to watch the NBA.
It's weird to think that cable's had a resurgence because it shouldn't have.
I know. Exactly, Nick. Exactly.
Just goes to show you when things are cheaper.
Yeah.
By the way, I just saw from Glenn Sisk, he's calling the Creighton game tonight at Providence.
Awesome.
Marcus Blossom, the athletic director, will be his guest analyst.
The whole game?
I'm guessing so.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Well,
he
actually offered to be my guest analyst last week at Butler, and I wouldn't allow it.
John.
Yeah.
You said no to
Too
the
out of
Blossom.
control. Too out of control for my level-headed, very Vin Scully-esque, down-the-middle broadcast.
Well, partly too, like, wouldn't it be nice, John? Wouldn't it be weird to have like your boss as your co-host? You know, and I know Marcus Blossom.
And it's happened to me before. Actually,
I don't want to.
Actually,
you had a boss as a producer for a little bit.
That's true. No, Neil wasn't our boss anymore though when he produced our show. No, he produced one of my shows as my boss. It's weird though, you know. And I wouldn't want if David came in here and I'm saying like, "You're an idiot. That's a stupid opinion." Like I wouldn't feel like I could be totally comfortable with calling him a moron like I do you.
Oh,
and you, Nick. Not you, Chance. Chance is smart. You know why?
Smart at being dumb.
Chance roots for a team in the NFL that's good, but they don't break his heart in the playoffs. It's the dream. He ended the season with a win.
You are pathetic. I mean, the Lions haven't won anything in 70 years.
Sounds like the Cowboys, basically.
Oh, this is ridiculous. You're all in it for the emo. Oh, emo jog.
Emo
jog. My Cowboys and my hurt feelings. Hashtag poop emoji.
Bye.